Oh, hello, everybody. Welcome. We got everybody. We do have everybody. Everybody's here. Welcome back to another Saturday night shenanigans, rambling. Hi, Crafty. Hi, new mum. How's it like being a new mum? How's the baby? How's everybody doing? Hi, Wes. John's here. We've got Dargendorp and Sandy and Let's Farm and Jenna. If Jenna gets finished up, she says she's going to pop in. And yeah, hopefully everybody else will start rolling in as the night goes along. We were just admiring Stephen's sign behind him, you know, just lovely, beautiful cider and port. If you can't see it,
I mean, as I tweeted out when I got it, I always wanted my name in lights, and you know what? This will do for now.
Yeah, and you pay for it for yourself, and it's very small. It's deserving.
Yeah.
I like. I don't know if anyone look. That's.
If anyone's seen the wee trailer I had, I don't know, I was coming across some old footage that I had from way back when and stuff like that. There's a couple more and stuff. I might just change them up and, you know, rehash wee videos like that. There was a few people like, welcome, you know, watching MathPig and all. I thought it was funny. Oh, Spooky's turned up and we've got a 420 as well. And, oh, she's got teeth now. Watch out, they bite. Yeah, so... The original idea was I reached out to Richard and we were just going to have sort of like an extension sort of what we talk about on a Tuesday. I've watched an awful lot of stuff on the Indo-European culture, and the Indo-European idea is that taking the languages across all of Europe and Sanskrit and stuff like that, they all have basic, you know, the way the written word is in the language, the spoken word more. You go on ahead, Richard?
The word European I know. What's Indo in that?
I think that's taken into the area of India and Sanskrit as well.
Okay.
So it's that whole wash sort of area. And again, we're going back in time to talk about a culture that, didn't have a written word. This is the language that they used before actual word was putting down and stuff like that. And I think it was Religion for Breakfast that did a video on it. And then Craigenfort has done a few videos on it and things like that, and it's definitely worth something to look into, the idea of it. And I thought it was funny, going back far enough in the language and following the etymology of it. Sky Father, Sky Daddy is the original word for God, you know, and we all laugh and joke about that, but that's where we were originally going to go. And then we started talking backstage when we got Stephen in and Dr. Weasley and stuff about longevity, you know. And like recently yesterday, quick story because everybody's just heard it here, my daughter asked me about God, and she's missing her grandfather. Hello, Wesley. Oh, and that ruined everything. Wesley just ruined.
While I make a pizza.
Wesley, I don't know what you just did, but every single one of my cameras just shifted in a wrong place.
Is it okay if I just observe and listen while I make a pizza and catch into what you're saying? And
perfect. I'm going to refresh.
Hold my stupidity back. And
damn, Wesley ruined me.
I think MathPig just disappeared. I guess it's my stream now.
No. I had to.
Obviously, we're on cider and pork.
What happened to you? Where did you go?
There we go. When Wesley joined, everything just went whoosh. All my cameras went all over the place. Everything moved. Everybody swapped places. Richard was split between two cameras, and you can see him just like this.
I look like a Canadian for a minute there.
Yeah, well, if you're going to eat, Wesley, just mute and put your icon up, and your spot will be saved. We'll wait for you to be finished. But yes, as I was saying, yesterday in the car, Elena asked me about God, and short story version, she said to me that people believe in God, some people don't, and her school gives them the option to, I'm just going to put you backstage then if you're not going to icon, right? Oh my goodness. Wesley has broke my computer, right?
He really has.
Right, there we go. And she misses, there you go, Wesley, thank you. She is missing her grandfather, and they give them the option to pray after assembly. And she sees prayer as a way to communicate with her grandfather that she's missing. And that started a conversation with us just backstage about longevity and how long, how long do we last? I think that we could say that the statistics on it and our general feeling would be what, 3 generations, 4 generations if you're a close family. And an idea that I sort of threw around with something I wanted to do was create something like a work of art, a knife, or something like that I could give to my daughter, that she could give, or whatever. Even if they fucking sold it, somebody is going to remember me, hopefully more than 4 generations down the line. So if anybody wants to jump in on that and continue that, or any thoughts?
I think it raises the question to me, like, do I remember my grandfather who died before I was born? Because I feel like he had a fairly big influence on my life in ways, but I never met the man. So how does that sort of work into what do we mean by remember?
See, that's
right.
I remember my father's father vaguely, this, that, and the other. And there is a VCR video of him that we watched like 4 years ago at his anniversary or something, and I realized I'd forgotten his voice. Right now, when I heard it, I knew it was him, but I'd forgotten his voice. My grandfather, as in my mother's father, my only memory of him is a photograph of me sitting on his knee when I was about 18 months. So I know that I met the man, I know that he was there, he existed and shit, and I looked up at him and went goo goo gaga and all that stuff. But my only memory is that looking at an old picture. That's it, completely.
Yeah, I was just going to say, just to kind of, it's really kind of weird that you say it, actually, because it was something that not even that long ago, like maybe a couple of weeks ago, I was over in my nan's and I was talking with my mom, and Christmas was my granddad's favorite time of year, right? He absolutely loved Christmas because with our family, it's something like we all congregate over in my nan's house, mainly because she has the biggest house. And like the entire family, like all of my aunts, my uncles, everybody got there. It's fucking epic. It's a tradition that we still keep to this day, right? And so it was just his favorite time of year because everyone was there and everyone was happy, smiling, blah, 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 blah. And I guess it was because, again, a few weeks ago, it was kind of just after Christmas. And I was saying to my mom, I was like, I can't remember what my granddad's voice was like.
Yeah.
Like, I can't remember what his voice was. I obviously remember him. And, it was something that I think you, MathPig, had said backstage, which was that, even after, like, the person, the physical person, the body is gone, that doesn't necessarily mean that their impact, that their memory is gone, because they live on through us, right? And the lessons and the the everything that they taught us, that lives on, because then we exude that and we then pass it on to possibly friends, but definitely our kids. So like, it's just I'm not afraid. I'm not afraid of like dying or anything else like that, because it's just like, well, I mean, what's the point? I'm not. I wasn't afraid of 1890. I'm not afraid of then because I wasn't around then. And it's like whenever I do, like I'm not afraid of that, because it's just like death is very much like, it's very much like being stupid. It's only painful for others.
Yeah. Funerals are for other people and all that. No, yeah, definitely. I say just, that. Yeah.
Like, I'm not going to be there, but I mean, like, it's even, and look, I'm just going to preface this is not good advice. It's when people kind of say, that like, oh yeah, you have to like keep fit and whatever. Nah, fuck that. Eat whatever you want. I won't be carrying the coffin. It's just
that is a phrase in Ireland.
Do whatever the fuck you want. It is a
phrase in Ireland. Yeah.
It's like, I have it literally tattooed on me, which is why tiptoe through life to arrive safely at death. I'm gonna die eventually anyway, so fuck it, I'm gonna have a good time. See, and that's.
I was just thinking there now, in reference to my grandfather, right, to try and not dox myself. Not that I give a shit, because you'll only find speeding tickets, but whenever my A lot of speeding tickets. Whenever my grandfather was younger, he was an All Ireland's dart champion for 1 year or whatever, and he always played in the local darts league. Now, darts is big over here. It still is quite big over in the UK. You know, a lot of people play darts. You still have them in the pubs and stuff. And close to the village where my grandfather grew up, there's about 6 pubs in this one wee village. Fuck off, we're Ireland. And they all have their own teams with their own, and they have a mini league every year. And after he passed away, they did change the name to the Norman MathPig, you know, Memorial Cup. So every year, whoever wins that has to bring the cup back. And as long as these pubs survive, and as long as this dart session is going on, my grandfather will be remembered, you know. We used to take turns at going up to give the cup out, you know, on that particular night. You know, one of the grandkids or somebody who would be related to my grandfather would go up and do it and give it out. I give it out twice, and I never give it out the second time because there was breaks between us. You know, there's a lot of grandkids, and I felt uncomfortable because they were like, who the fuck is this guy that's just blowing in? And we all have, it's like, that's Norman's grandson. You need to show the man some respect. And just purely because of the realization of that and who my grandfather was, you know, you did get a certain level of, oh, right, sorry. You're like, we didn't realize who this because it's a real knit, you know, small community. It's like, who's this stranger in the corner with his girlfriend? Like, who the fuck's this guy? What's going on, this weirdo? No, that's Norman's grandfather or grandson, you know. So, with that said, Leo, welcome. I think you fixed the computer setup, Leo, because Wesley's now not on camera and everything is perfect.
What's going on? Tit shits and piss flaps?
I don't know, man, but you fixed my computer. You did one good thing.
I don't. Do you know, MathPig? Tell me what you know about Wesley.
Lots about Wesley. I also know that Saturday, yes, and I also know that last Saturday night he came in and he made a genuine effort. And I told him if he behaved like that again, I would give him another chance.
The Hebrew word for that comes out in the English as remember in, say, the King James, etc. The original root idea is to bring them into your presence, which I find a really novel, interesting way to look at it. So what does it mean? It means to visit with them again. Something like that.
Are you talking about Wesley or heaven?
I think that's what we're doing with our past loves, is we're bringing them into our presence again. We're experiencing them again. And of course, you know, over time they might stop talking. They might stop blinking when they're in your presence.
How have you been, Leo?
Well, I'm the most famous man on earth without TV. You guys know more about me than I can remember, probably. If Jesus showed you the visions of how he gave me the dove, how I was smoking crack the night I met Noah and gave him a plum, and the days I was in Chicago.
Visions about people smoking crack.
We talked about prophecy.
If you saw it, everyone on earth saw it.
Wesley, Leo antagonizes me too. It's called control. Don't play.
I didn't antagonize anybody.
But it's the book not written on paper, which means you're never going to tell it.
No prophesizing. Conversation, Wesley. Remember that. Now, there was a topic come out earlier today that as well I was watching, on top of all the stuff that I was watching with Richard, that I thought of you, Leo, in a good way. Tagmark and the mathematical universe, and the idea that in the very foundation there is just numbers that are not physical numbers, but you know, you go down the line. You know exactly what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I don't reject, or I don't accept that idea. I reject it because I'm not a mathematical Platonist. I don't think mathematics is like some ontically real system that humans like found out in their somewhere. Mathematics is an entirely convented and highly abstract system developed entirely by humans.
So you're a proponent.
Well, I have a logic science.
You're a proponent of humans invented math then, rather than discovered.
Well, It's a bit more nuanced than that. So
That's
I
what I'm
think
asking,
that
yeah.
the axioms and like the system of mathematics is sort of like a system or institution, if you will, was developed by humans, but there are certain patterns and symmetries that we've been capable of discovering within those systems that we created.
So if I could say,
Did
like,
any of-
you know, pi by
Did
any
any
other
of
name
you
still...
take any science classes in school, in high school or in college, at university? Any science classes where you did experiments in class?
I'm a
I
physicist.
did, yes.
So, yes.
Did you ever do that experiment where they give you a cadaver and you put electrodes in it to cause the muscles to contract?
No, our school didn't get cadavers. We didn't have that kind of funding.
Yeah, the closest that might have happened, and I don't think this ever happened in a class I took, was they might have done it with like frog legs or something, but
right.
I think they've moved more away from the more graphic, I think, depictions of some of these things.
So
Yeah, but when I was a
read
kid-
or you've gotten wind or read or heard about those kinds of experiments that you do in high school, zoology, where
Is
you
this
put
on topic,
electrodes
Wesley, to
into
what
a
we're-
frog's legs
Wesley,
and you
Wesley,
electrify it, and it makes the muscles contract, and you know the muscles start twitching and stuff like that when it's just the legs and stuff.
It's pretty cool. I never did that in school myself, but that sounds pretty interesting.
Is it on topic,
Yeah, well-
Wesley?
That's what happened to you guys on October 10, 2005 and March 31st.
No, Wesley, come on now.
I don't know what that means.
I know, it's his wee story. It's his wee vision. I know it's like Richard, and I feel a wee bit, hypocritical cutting off Wesley's story when I promote Richard's story to a point. But we've talked about this. Stay on topic.
It's going to come to destroy you guys, and you guys just want to sit back and go la la la.
No, we're not going la la la. We're actually having a conversation about the idea of mathematics, and do we think it's invented, or that's where the conversation was at, Wesley, when you came in on Leo. And that, I think, is a genuine,
Okay.
either a philosophical conversation or
I said my piece.
I think it's a deep, a conversation worth having. So, more nuanced, Leo. Sorry, Weasel.
Well, yeah. So, I think Leo and I probably have a similar, to some extent, thoughts about this. Although I would definitely come down on the side of saying that mathematics, what I consider mathematics sort of fundamentally to be, it is discovered rather than invented. All of the language that we use to interact with the structure or patterns, those are obviously invented. But if you start with certain axioms, which yes do have to be expressed in a language, you are, just by the construction of those axioms, bound to certain conclusions and forbidden from other conclusions within the sort of abstract structure. But I don't think math exists anywhere, or I don't know what a mathematical universe means, I guess.
Well, the visualization that they used when I seen it today was, you break down sort of processes, right? So you interact with the world. To do that, you must think. To think, you must have neurons. Neurons are atoms. Atoms then are fields. You go down and down and down, and then you go down and down and down. And then at the bottom, you have math.
That you see, this is interesting because if I've heard of the concept of Tegmark's mathematical universe. I must admit I haven't ever really looked into it, just because I'm not. If I'm being honest, I'm just not really that interested in the idea. But it seems, because I would think that it's going to take some sort of Platonist view with respect to math. But if it does that, Platonistic objects do not stand in causative relations. So math wouldn't be like responsible for things that happen in the universe because mathematical structures and relations are not causative, they're not concrete, even if ontically real. And that's sort of what a Platonist position is with respect to mathematics, is that mathematical entities and structures are ontically real. They're ontologically real entities, but they're not concrete. They don't stand in causative or causal relations with anything. And I reject the notion, I reject all forms of Platonism. I think it's unintuitive and, if I'm being, just openly opinionated here, a rather ridiculous notion.
God damn, Leo, tell me how you really feel.
Platonism is dumb, and I have absolutely no idea how anybody could hold to such a completely ridiculous notion that's thousands of years old and so far removed from a current understanding of reality. It blows my mind that there's people out here, well, but there could be like numbers that are out there, but they're not out there, but they are, but then they're not, and they're here, and then they're everywhere else. And I'm just like, what are you talking about? That's what I don't get about Platonism. It's like, what are you even talking about?
But then what you just said lends to the idea that all of the mathematics are descriptive and not prescriptive, that they're not causally linked to the reality. They don't do things on their own. But then your prior definition seemed like it may have lent more toward something in between the two, and I'm confused.
Well, I think mathematics is like English or Latin or French or something like that.
A language that we use to communicate what is going on around us.
Well, I think that there's linguistic concepts and certainly a linguistic structure with respect to math. Whether mathematics is a language, I don't think I would say that. I think mathematics.
Well, if I defined a language as a way to communicate my thoughts and these ideas to you, then I would use language and I could put math into that.
Well, I mean, I would say that mathematics would certainly have linguistic aspects to it, but I don't know if it as a system is a language. I would view mathematics more probably like logic. I don't think logic is a language, but I think that logic and mathematics are used to help sort of axiomatize and arithmeticize language. Like, think of the work that people like Quine and Russell and Tarski and all those were doing in the early 20th century, was trying to find ways, and then, Kurt Gödel and all that stuff, arithmeticizing and axiomatizing language to help figure out sort of what is its fundamental metaphysical structure.
I've got a question for, sorry.
Just for reference, there could be people in the audience and you saying this person thought this and this person thought that. Look at what these person thought. Not everybody knows what everybody thought. So, that's just giving you a wee bit of hindsight. Context is all what happened, Leo. Richard, go on ahead.
So I've got a question for Leo and Tapioca. With proper authority assigned by whatever group, a person can be given power in their speech to declare truths that are brand new truths. I'll give you an example. The justice of the peace says, and it will now from that moment on be true, that you are man and wife, or man and car, or wife and car. I don't know, whatever you're marrying. But that becomes a reality when it's said, if there is sufficient authority to have said it. So is there anything like that in mathematics, where the math makes a statement and becomes true?
No,
I don't think so. I think all true statements in a defined and axiomatic mathematical system will be well. Let me put it this way. I think that the truth of any statement in some axiomatic system is not going to be prescribed by some sort of external authority. It's going to be derivable from the system. However, in order, and then this goes to Gödel's first incompleteness theorem, in order that any formal axiomatic and arithmeticized system to be consistent, there will always be, it's entailed in the definition of consistency that there will be true statements in that system that cannot be formally proven by that system.
And that's one of the
sort of
biggest
thing
things
I was
that
talking
destroys,
about, actually.
Yeah, it destroys basically. Well, not destroys, but I'm not Jill. But it ruins the idea of the mathematical universe, the inconsistency.
I can't comment or speculate. I don't know enough about Tegmark's idea to say how the incompleteness theorems would bear on it. But the thing with Gödel's incompleteness theorems the one thing that I would want to stress to anybody is they're kind of mundane. Like, they're not this esoteric and profound thing that we don't know why. Like, that's not really how it's sort of like the concept of truth. Truth is not some profound esoteric concept and we have no idea what it is. It's just kind of a mundane concept. Everybody knows what truth is. We all have meaningful concepts of truth. Maybe not the incompleteness theorems, because that's, more, foundations of mathematics, meta logic, but they're somewhat mundane. Like, they're not these. When you hear theists appeal to them to, like, argue for God and stuff, no, just no. That's not no.
I've never understood entirely why they were so, and this is probably because I'm not very familiar with the history of logic and, formal mathematics. But I never understood why this was so surprising to people, that there would be things that you wouldn't be able to prove. To me, that sort of seemed
logical.
It seems kind of intuitive. Like, you need to have language. The axioms of math don't explain themselves. Like, you have to. Everything is contextualized by it. Yeah, I never understood why that was so surprising.
I have to be honest. I think that the incompleteness theorems are somewhat intuitive when you actually look at the structure of our arithmetical systems, many of our languages, mathematics, logic itself. It's that it's not like you said. If you're developing some concept of proof from some set of axioms, you're not going to be able to take that concept and apply it back to the individual axioms. That it's not going to work that way.
Yeah.
Why is that profound? Like, that, to me, in my mind, I'm kind of just like, duh. Like, yeah, that kind of just seems obvious to me.
I don't know. That's easy to say after the fact. It's like when I say to people, I quote and say, look, anger is repeated, frustrations is repeated, disappointments is repeated mismeasurements. If you accept reality, you can be happy. And you look at something like that and you go, well, that's obvious. Yeah, once you say it, it's real obvious. But the genius is that Gödel ever said it in the first place.
Yeah, I think you got a point there, really. That, if we go back, 80, 90, 100 years, whatever it was, this actually was probably somewhat profound, because the running thought was that we could develop a complete formal axiomatic system. And Kurt came along and showed, sorry.
I think it becomes more surprising when you try and model what it would actually look like, because I think the sort of intuitive notion that an axiomatic system is going to be unable to prove certain things within itself. Hey, Midnight. I think that's sort of intuitively kind of reasonable, but then if you say, okay, give an example of a statement which is well defined within your axiomatic system, which you can then show is not provable, that does become harder. And that's not necessarily so obvious, even though that's really sort of the core of what I guess Gödel was doing.
Oh no, that's definitely a fact. The notion that's wrapped up sort of in the incompleteness theorems is not something that the average person is going to stumble upon.
I will never not laugh at that.
It's going to be something, and this is and this goes back to sort of the abstract nature of mathematics, is that the whole notion of the incompleteness theorems is quite an abstract notion, and it comes out of the way that we can formally arithmeticize some sort of system that we can then show that there are going to be, statements in that system that the system is not going to be able to prove. It is quite an abstract endeavor, I guess you could say, doing what Gödel did. But nevertheless, it was done, and it didn't make a lot of people very happy, but is what it is, I guess.
understatement.
To me, one of the funny things sort of about the incompleteness theorems is they seem exactly like the sort of thing that they would apply to, and yet you're able to prove them.
Yeah, and that's the thing is people are like, so you can't prove the incomplete. No. I'm always like, no. The incompleteness theorems can be proven. But they tell us that, oh, well, there's other things that cannot be. But yeah, the incompleteness theorems can be proven within classical logic. I do not ask me to do it. I do not know the form, and I do not know the exercise for doing so. Not even remotely.
I want you to do it now, Leo.
It might be 25 minutes before we get started. I'm gonna have to do some reading.
Take a breath, Leo. Take a breath.
Well.
Let Midnight talk, because Midnight doesn't get to talk in the next 2 minutes. I deliberately interrupt them just to stop them and wind them up a wee bit more. They're gonna have to. They have a need to talk because they've just joined. So, hi, Midnight.
Hello, Piggy.
Hey,
Or
Snowball.
MathPig. How you doing?
Very good.
So yeah, I figured I'd join. I was watching. I was watching. I was watching the Old Man stream before, so I figured I'd come here.
You were in what? Brojo's.
No. Speed.
Ah.
Answers in Atheism.
Oh yeah, it was Speed.
I was watching him, and I was like, you know what? Let me see what MathPig is up to. I know you were having a open panel, so I was like, and here we have. Who do we have here? We have you, which is awesome. We have.
Who is
Weasel,
you?
which is-
She's.
Well,
Am I
you or are you
no.
me?
Actually,
Midnight, don't make me treat you like Wesley. On topic. Get to the point. Come on.
My point is that I'm glad to be here, you fat, lovable.
Not fat.
You fat. Sound like Joe Biden. Listen here, fat.
Anyway,
MathPig, are you capable of doing screen shares on your whole setupy thingy that you got going on?
I can now
He
that
hates
Wesley
to.
has left. Yeah, it makes my life easy.
Oh wait, that was Wesley.
Since
That was
Midnight
Wesley who
asked.
just left?
Yeah, it
I
was.
mean, I didn't think you'd actually do it, but come on, let's see this incompleteness theorem.
Oh boy.
Everybody loves map on the panel.
Oh my goodness! It is.
This is a proof. This is a proof sketch for the first theorem. It's got a lot of steps in it.
It does. There's
when I
there's
look
quite a
at
lot going on there.
I can't see
When
it.
I'm looking at this,
I can't see it, and the audience is seeing it as small as a camera feed. So
well, I don't. Hold on.
Yeah, based on
Shit.
It's all Greek to me.
Shit.
right, share the
Shit.
link.
Come on, there you
Oh
go.
my goodness, what is going on? Right, StreamYards must have updated. Gonna have to have a chat with Amber or Chat GPT to fix this.
it looked so. It kind of looked a little bit, and we don't have to get bogged down in the weeds here, but it reminded me, I think, vaguely of the proof that uncomputable functions or programs exist. The halting problem. There is no solution to the halting problem.
Yeah, I think.
Ooh, what is the
there's
halting problem? It sounds.
some relation to the incompleteness theorems to that, but please do not quote me on that one because I don't know the first thing about computer science.
I will quote you on that.
So,
I will quote you on that.
Midnight.
But
The
the
halting
notation
problem.
here-
Sorry.
no, go ahead.
the-
Go ahead.
Okay. The halting problem refers to full dump trucks on icy surfaces.
Okay, that's not. I don't think that's it. Considering that's not. That doesn't have to do with computer science.
Are you
but
saying
thank
there
you.
is no halting problem there? Is that what you're saying?
I mean, there is, but I don't think that's the problem that we're talking about.
I did want to say quickly that looking at this just self-referential formula here on Wikipedia for the first proof, looking at the notation, this actually doesn't look that difficult. Anybody that I think was reasonably competent in first-order predicate logic and propositional logic would probably be capable of deciphering this relatively quickly.
Okay, now I'm gonna do. I'm just gonna do a poll for the audience, right? And you're like, oh, anyone who knows this, piss easy. So do a poll. Does anyone know anything that just Leo just talked about? Like,
No, but I don't think it would be that hard to learn.
no, it wouldn't be that hard to learn.
Actually.
But I'm just saying. You know. Snowball, what have you been at this week? Come on, give us something fantastic and amazing. No.
Another interesting thing that we need to remember is that truth is a semantic concept, and that truth and provability are not equivalent to one another, except in special cases.
Yeah, I didn't know you were Snowball, though.
I didn't know your brain took that fucking long to react either. I'm on Leo's side.
I was taking a drink.
You need caffeine, you know.
I need coffee.
I don't know, something to make your brain work faster. There was like a whole 15 seconds there where you had to think.
Well, I mean, my problem is that my brain thinks too fast. That's why my mouth can't keep up. That's why I stutter. Well, maybe, I guess. I don't know. But right now, I'm not. Anyway, this week, I was just being my adorable self, doing nothing. Or, I mean, I did appear on a few streams. But mostly just to keep it to myself. You know?
Hey, Bree. How's the confidence going? Have you streamed on your own channel?
No.
What was it, 2 weeks, 3 weeks?
It's been like 3 weeks.
You do realize that when you stream sometimes and people pop in and give you not nicey-nice, and then you don't stream for another 2 weeks, if you streamed every single day at a specific time, they'd eventually get bored within like 4 days, and then you could just get on with having streams. Like.
Or I could just create a whole new channel to stream on.
I don't have a private troll.
Oh no! Midnight has fans.
Yeah, let's call them fans. Let's call them fans. One of them.
Steven's starting a new channel. Well, not starting a new channel. Steven's.
Oh yeah.
Let us know about that, Steven. All right.
Yeah. So
tell us all the reasons why we're
going
to ostracize you and kick you out of the community. Go on ahead.
No, not that at all. No, look, I mean, I had said that I was going to stay in the community and that I was going to show up on. I even name dropped you in the video that I was going to show up on MathPig streams, and look, here I am. I just kind of
cable management. Cable management.
Yeah, look at that's been in the background of every fucking video that I've done. But anyway. Yeah, no, I just kind of thought that, like, you know, me just kind of focusing on more kind of solo content was just like the best way to kind of go. I mean,
there's your pretty face, Leo.
I mean, it's what Leo did, and he has more fucking subs than I do. So I mean, he's obviously doing something right.
He screams a lot more. Leo screams a lot more. Leo does debates a lot more. Leo's very.
I don't scream. I'll scream.
You scream.
Nobody in this community has seen me snow.
Right. No, okay. Someone tell me what the
nobody in this community has seen me scream.
Right. My definition of scream is putting an awful lot of.
It's wrong.
I looked it up on Google. The very first definition in Google is putting an awful lot of emphasis, not necessarily raising your volume. Right. You get very enthusiastic and you scream about your enthusiasm.
Exactly. It's not unnecessary.
I think every time Leo takes his hand and cups the mic so he catches all the sound into the mic, he's officially screaming.
Uh-huh.
Oh, so I'm screaming right now, huh?
When you do that, yes.
It's the YouTuber version of screaming.
No, but like, right,
you know
no.
I mean?
Look at Leo. Leo's laughing and stuff right now. So this helps an awful lot. Leo's laughing. I can tell Leo, like, when Leo turns around to me and goes, Robbie, you're a cunt. I know that Leo's not being serious. Where if Leo was like, you know, and then said the exact same words, there's a different context. There's a different thing. And it really, I feel that...
You are a cunt, though. So you wouldn't be wrong.
No, you wouldn't be wrong in this context. Because, I understand what you mean. But the point I'm trying to say is body language and stuff like this, for someone of my brain and the way I work and stuff like that, Stephen, I think, has a slight understanding of it. Intense would be a good word as Crafty used it.
Oh, yeah, I'm with you there, buddy.
You know, it really, really helps to be able to see people and read people, and also with that comes an awful lot of intake. So when I say scream, my definition may be wrong to 99% of people, But when
Very
Leo,
passionate.
shut the
Very
fuck up! I'm
passionate.
trying to open here a minute, right? There's a lot of people on the fucking panel here have autism and stuff, and this is a general good topic. I'm trying to fucking have a conversation, right? When I take input in and take information in, it can be very intense because of the high intensity of taking that information. You know, if someone normally takes in 30 frames per second and someone takes in 60 frames per second and 110% of normal volume, then it becomes a whole lot more intense than what it actually is. And I think that's what I'm trying to convey. Go on, Snowball, now if you've fucking something relevant to say.
Are you drinking again?
Me?
I don't know. I know that I heard
water,
3
yes.
hippie jokes. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm drinking. But it's on you to figure out what.
Well,
From a
Leo, I
can.
just want to say, Leo is very passionate about what he says and what he believes, and I don't know. Yeah, the man's very passionate. What can I say?
And he has an excellent microphone.
Yes, and those glasses. Look at those glasses. Very sexy.
They're broken. Nobody comments on my hat though. My cat hat.
Well, I.
Do you drive a
Everybody run a
bulldozer?
piece of
Hold
equipment.
on. Are you a
But
cat
there's
boy?
only
cat
one
boy?
other. There's only what? Well, it depends on what you mean by that. In the right context, yes. But there's probably only one other person in this stream, maybe two, that probably know anything about cat engines.
Yeah, two.
You mean
At least-
caterpillar engines? That
Yeah.
kind of cat?
Yes.
Yeah, there's
Yes.
two of us.
Yeah.
Well, what do cat?
Well, so there's 3 of us. I was right.
Well,
There
there's
is
two.
3
Yeah,
of us.
there's 2 others on the. Yeah.
Okay, well, come on. You know, spit it out. What's that? Wow.
Okay, well, you've seen a Peterbilt semi-truck, right? You live in the U.S. You live in the
Yeah.
United States, right? You've seen semis on the road, the big Peterbilts and the Kenworths, and they're loud and all that. Yeah, most of them are going to have either a Caterpillar engine or maybe like a Cummins. There's some other brands that you're going to find, but not in nearly the quantity you're going to find Cat and Cummins. So Caterpillar, they make construction equipment. They used to make agriculture equipment. They used to make on-highway diesel engines. Now they just largely focus on the off-highway construction, mining, forestry, that kind of stuff. Caterpillar Incorporated, that's the company. You probably know what company I'm talking about if you've ever been past
I think it's a
construction site.
2005 or 2006 one. My stepfather's just refinished painting the roof, and he painted it like a white. He took it off and replastered and stuff. We've one in the fucking garden of my ma's house, like big digger bit at the front, digger bit, you know, scoop at the front, digger bit at the back, and all that sort of stuff. Like,
And by the way, most people probably recognize, if I get up nice and close,
colours.
you've probably seen that logo before midnight. You've probably seen that on equipment before.
It's on
I
the
don't know if
big
like
yellow
Steven has, or you know how much that like Steven has. Well, I'm just saying I don't, because I honestly I don't know how extensive Cat's reaches outside of North America. I know they have it, obviously, but I just I have no idea what the extent.
see,
is,
the
but
thing
now
about it is, right?
I've seen it, so I know that it's probably pretty.
Hey, Leo, next time
Common.
you appear on camera, wear cat ears.
Oh,
I am.
We would have
No,
right.
not
we would
those,
have an
not
awful
ears, not those.
Leo.
Ears.
We would have an awful lot of cat equipment over here. But what has happened is the same thing that's happened with the vacuum cleaner and Hoover. It's become a brand. So when people see bright yellow over here, they go,
Yeah.
"Oh look, there's a JCB."
Yep.
It's like whenever you don't say I'm vacuum cleaning the living room, you say I'm hoovering the living room. You know, Hoover's a brand, and it's the same thing. Caterpillar
You're
because they're
telling me
yellow,
if I got a cat dozer, hey, can you go grab the JCB and pull it over here?
and they know exactly what you're talking
Yeah.
about.
I'm sorry, that's just fucking hilarious.
It's just a branding thing, man. Plus, they're both yellow.
Yep.
They're fucking both
Well,
yellow.
it's the same thing in the United States. If you've ever heard of sheetrock, sheetrock is actually not the name of the material, it's the name of the brand that popularized it. Oh, hey, can you pass me the box of Kleenex? Kleenex is not what it's called.
It's
It's
tissues.
paper. Kleenex
Yeah.
is the brand that popularized it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Xerox.
And sheetrock.
Diesel engine. Diesel engine. Diesel is the name of the person who invented it, not the name of the style of engine. The style of engine is a compression ignition engine.
the sheetrock thing doesn't
This
even.
is why
the
you can
main
put
sheetrock
petrol and
doesn't even
diesel and not
apply
diesel
to
and petrol.
drywall, which is the only thing they make now. It's from back when they used to make panels of actual plaster with hair and stuff in them and mass produced them. They'd harvest horsehair. It was really a weird process. They cross-hatch them. Anyway,
I am loving this conversation. We started out with talking about longevity over grandfathers to about 3 generations.
Wait a minute.
Then we did God. Then we did fucking.
I would
other
love to keep
things.
talking about
Now
diesel engines. I'm gonna be honest.
Wait, Leo. Wait, Leo. You said compression combustion.
Yeah.
Compression ignition.
Compression ignition. And that's okay. Okay, so the maintenance of the continuance of the firing is off of heat on the cylinder wall, not due to compression.
Well, I can't.
No, it
say anything
explodes
about
under
that. I was talking about the style of the engine.
Yeah,
Spark ignition, which utilizes a spark plug to ignite the air-fuel ratio that in a carbureted engine is pre-mixed before it enters the combustion chamber.
Diesel
And an
has glow
injected
plugs.
engine is combusted. In an injected engine,
Vapor.
it's not air fuel coming into the combustion chamber. It's just air, and then as the piston is coming upward on the compression stroke, the injector injects the fuel in, and then the spark
In a
plug,
vapor.
and that forces the piston downward on the power
I used
stroke.
to work in a
There's
gas.
intake, compression, power, exhaust strokes of a 4-stroke
We
engine.
used to work
but
in
in
a
a
place-
diesel, there is
you
no
just-
spark plug. And the
That's
glow
right.
plug doesn't have anything to do with the ignition. That has to do with warming the cylinder so that you don't
Whoa,
get jelly.
whoa, wrong.
In a diesel
Leo,
engine, what happens,
breathe.
and this is why.
Leo,
and this
breathe.
is why.
Let others
if I
talk,
could just-
Leo.
If I could just.
just
if I could
let
just
him finish
Thank
his statement, Robbie. Let him finish his sentence, and then
So-
Richard can respond.
in a diesel engine is a compression ignition engine where you can't carburate a diesel engine. There's I think like really niche instances
He's
where
off
there's
on a
like
rant
oil fired
now.
engines that are high compression in like the aerospace industry. Anyway, you can't carburate a diesel engine. You can't do it because you'll get backfire, you'll get engine knock, it'll be really bad. And that's because they do not ignite by sparking. They ignite as a result of the thermal energy created by the pressure that the piston creates on
say
the
this 3
upward
minutes
stroke,
ago.
on the compression stroke. So what happens is, usually on modern engines, they're not naturally aspirated. They have a turbocharger on them. I'm not going to get into the technicalities of that, but all a turbocharger does is boosts the engine.
5 seconds,
Force
Leo.
induces-
5 seconds.
Okay,
It
5
force
seconds.
induces air into the engine. Anyway, so you have air that comes in, the piston goes upward, and instead of there being a spark, the fuel is injected in, and the heat created.
There we go. Take a breath. Take a breath.
He was finally getting to it,
Are you
though.
fucking serious? I mean, what? No, fuck it. No, I'm just not even gonna waste my fucking time. Other people can fucking.
So annoying when you just talk and ignore everybody else. They've put time.
Well, yeah, because I'm explaining something. I'm sorry that certain concepts take a few fucking minutes to explain. Be
Well,
patient,
you didn't
sit
have to talk
quietly,
about
and wait for
4
somebody to
unrelated
finish.
Yeah.
things.
And the
4
less
different
that
things
that
at
you
least.
interrupt.
You
faster
interrupted
somebody
about
gets
fucking
through it.
a load of
Those are
people.
the only things that
I
I,
had the
wanted to
fucking
clarify.
point you were
How did I
trying to make.
interrupt when I was the one making the point and I was just continuing to do so? That's not interrupting. It's interrupting to try to butt into that. But tell me more about how I'm the one interrupting. But no, it's done. People can go. That's
My
fine. I'll mute
channel.
up. I'll mute
When
up.
I speak, everybody has to be quiet. That's the rules, Leo. You know the rules. You run your own channel. When you speak and you try to make a point or ask a question, you're the boss. Everyone asks. So when I speak and you continue, yes, you're interrupting me because this is my word.
I'm
Same
always
as
the
you,
boss.
Bree had questions, Weasel had questions, and what you got to at the end was the thing that I was trying to say at the fucking start. Which
I do
would
have a
been real quick.
question. My question is actually for you, though.
Go
How
for
did
it.
you get such a sexy panel together? This is freaking hot.
Check
Thank
out
you.
the diggers
Let's make this
on Richard.
thing.
Check out the diggers on Richard. Like,
Yeah, well, yeah. Richard,
I mean, I could use
Richard
a
was up on
haircut,
camera,
but-
though, with his glorious new, darker, more imposing beard. He's going through his goth
Beautiful.
phase right now with his darker beard.
I just want to point out that Bree is on the channel.
I need a haircut, but thank you.
desperately.
Me too. I haven't cut my hair since 2019.
Do you have a ponytail or has it
I
I
always
don't
been a
understand why
ponytail?
Midnight's not on camera more.
I don't know. He's self-conscious about his appearance, I think.
I don't know. He looks like a normal fucking person to me. Shit. Believe me, there's a hell of a lot. There's people that
wouldn't
are
even-
that are
I wouldn't even have known he
definitely
was
on a
albino
track.
if he didn't tell me.
Yeah, there's like, see if you
just
dyed
looks like
your
a
hair,
blonde
you should
guy.
dye your hair like a normal color. Nobody would know that you're an albino. Everybody would just think you don't leave the basement.
Oh, that's shaming, bro.
No,
Well,
Yeah, fuck you, Robbie.
calling
It
him a
just looks like
snowball
he hasn't
isn't
been outside in a
shaming,
while.
but making a joke about him not
Yo.
going out in the sun is okay.
I think I'm as pale as you
I
are.
literally didn't know he was albino until literally 20 seconds ago.
Yeah.
I had no idea.
I
And
mean,
I've
it's-
been on camera with him.
It's that fucking
I
bad
think-
over here. Alena
don't
looked
think
like
it
she'd
came
been
up.
on a 4-day
He's like
bender.
Noah.
Her
Noah
eyes were
wasn't
black
albino.
under her eyes. Her skin's that thin, and no sun over here.
I think Sparkle is such a good representative of an ideal person that Sparkle should always be on camera, and it'd be obvious that they are albino.
Well, I mean, yeah, even if I were to dye my hair black or red or
Blue. Dye it blue.
blue, why?
You're like Sonic the Hedgehog.
Okay, so here's my argument, Leo. 10 seconds of a glow plug is not going to heat the cylinder sufficiently for continued ignition.
I know that. That's because glow plugs do not take part in ignition. The point that I was getting at before I was rudely put backstage is that the ignition is initiated by the thermal energy produced by the compression of the air as the piston comes upward on the compression stroke. The injector goes off, puts in the fuel, the piston continues to inject, and the heat gets high enough, it ignites and forces the piston back downward.
Gas pressure?
Glow plug.
Not gas pressure, just well, maybe gas. I don't
Is it
know.
fluid
It's
pressure?
It's
I don't
both.
know. All I know is
My
the
point
piston
is-
goes up, it pressurizes the air, and it's the
My
third
point
because
is-
when like if you've ever hit something with a hammer enough times hard enough, it's kind of hot, warm on the top. It's pressure, it's the energy,
We all got
energy,
it.
heat.
In the
Richard's
So-
tried twice to agree with you. Let him.
in the chemical
it's-
chemical composition, the pressurized chemical composition is what causes the combustion.
No.
Well, the
not by
fuel, the
itself.
composition of the fuel is different. Yes, that's why
Well,
there's
it
two.
really
That's
doesn't
why
just spark.
diesel.
Because the fuel
No.
composition, right?
Well, it's the composition of the fuel, but it's primarily the compression rate. Diesels run at a higher rate of compression. They
Extremely
can
high.
compress. All engines compress the air on the compression stroke, hence the name compression stroke. Diesels do so at a higher rate. That compression, that pressure is higher in a diesel engine than it is in a gasoline engine, to the extent. And then when you add the right kind of fuel, what happens is that it can just ignite as a result of the heat produced from the pressure. And diesel
No.
engines were
And
initially
this second
the
point, Richard
motivation
still
for
hasn't got to
inventing
say his
them
bit.
was the fact that when we were refining petroleum for gasoline, there was a massive byproduct that was kind of just being thrown away, but that people realized, maybe there's a way that we could use this, and that led to developments of like oil-fired engines, and eventually into Rudolf Diesel developing the compression ignition engine.
So
Do you
now
know
we're
the
talking
diesel
about
starting?
the foundational findings, and you just ranted on for a while about how diesel was found, and that's okay. Get on topic and stuff. But other people like Richard have been trying to ask you something. You need to learn to take breaths and let other people take questions. Now, wait until
Yeah,
you're
that's
finished
why I'm
talking.
paused right now, so they can go ahead.
Yeah, you go on for
Okay.
frickin' ages.
It's not just
No, I
about
didn't even
giving
get
people
that.
the time
Okay,
to
back to you.
respond.
Bro,
It's
go
also
back to you,
about
Nate.
giving the people
Back
the
to you.
time to
Well,
like
back to you. Now you are interrupting.
make
Back to you.
points.
Go on. Now you are interrupting.
Okay, let's one at a time here, so the audience out there can hear.
Mm,
Richard,
yeah,
it's your
I
time
know.
to talk. Go ahead, Richard.
So if because of the mass of the engine, its engine block itself, there's a real problem with diesel engines being warm enough to start. That is, warm enough to start and keep running. So we do things like we put coils in the coolant system, like a water heater coil, that actually normally plugs in 110 and keeps the engine warm enough. And the reason that you have to have that in extreme cold environments is because the glow plug does not heat up the engine block. It can't. However, after it fires several times in a row, due to a combination of the glow plug being hot and the compressed vapor fuel air mix injected into it and compressed a lot, I mean a lot for an engine, as Leo said, that combination will cause it to fire. Now, they'll smoke a lot at first because it's trying to get the cylinder walls hot enough to keep firing. And after yeah, and if that weren't true, the glow plugs would have to stay on, which they don't.
Is the glow plug basically like? Does it play a similar role to like a spark plug, but only when the engine's getting warmed up?
It's a warmer. They run when the engine is in the starting mode. Most modern diesel, at least medium duty diesel engines, and I think most heavy duty diesel engines today do not have glow plugs, and that's just because of the advancements that have been made in the fuel. Fuel doesn't gel like it used to, so.
Okay, so the glow plug, the hot part of the glow plug, is not in contact with the thing that's igniting with the fuel mixture.
Well, I think it might be, but it's not at a high enough temperature to ignite the air fuel.
A glow plug is called a glow plug because it's made of metal and it gets so damn hot it literally glows. It emits light.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, but is the thing it's next to, is it igniting the thing? So, and you're saying no. Okay.
It's into the combustion chamber. It does cause ignition.
Well, glow plugs do not cause ignition.
Yes, they're necessary for that ignition in those engines.
They're not.
Let's have
no,
the
they're
back
not.
and forth broke up and not over talking to each other. So, what is the function of the glow plug in ignition, in your opinion, or in your understanding, Leo?
What the glow plug does is it warms the combustion chamber as you're igniting, so that the fuel does not gel as it's being entered into the combustion chamber. It ensures a more thorough and complete combustion.
Wait, Richard.
But you don't need them in warm weather. In fact, like I said, most diesel engines that are sold today don't have glow plugs in them.
All right.
Most of them might have a heating element.
Leo, we're stopping right there and letting Richard respond. You're going to get a second. Go ahead, Richard.
Holy shit.
I've been running heavy equipment since you were probably, 6.
Okay.
And you're wrong. You do need glow plugs in ideal weather without fuel gelling.
No, you don't.
So the glow plugs are Leo's claim is that they are present in all diesel engines, but not needed in all the diesel engines in cold weather, but they're not needed in more temperate or warmer weather, and that if they manufacture them in that area, that they're not putting glow plugs in. Is that correct? When they're manufacturing them, they're not putting the glow plugs in because they're not needed?
Today, no. Like if I went and bought a brand new 2023 Ram 2500 with the 6.7 Cummins in it, that doesn't have glow plugs on it. If I bought a 2023 Ford F350 with the 6.7 Power Stroke diesel, that doesn't have glow plugs on it. If I bought a GM Duramax diesel, that does not have glow plugs on it.
So,
if I went and bought a 2019
right, with
a Packard engine in it, that does not have glow plugs on it.
So when did they stop putting glow plugs on all the diesel engines?
I have no idea. It was probably over a period, not like a
fucking
hard.
sick of being ignored in my own fucking channel. I'm absolutely fucking sick of it. Sick of it. I fucking raised my hand. I was polite. I waited my fucking turn 3 and 4 times. I'm fucking sick of being ignored. There's an awful lot of rambling here going on. An awful lot of the same shit going over and over and over again, because Leo's style of communication is I need to talk and get it out the way I like it, the way it must be spoke, and you're not getting and not listening to other people fucking talking to you. Very, very simple. Alright? This entire thing could have been shortened to about 5-10 minutes. Most of the fucking people in the chat of a certain age, they understand what you're fucking rambling about. And I am on top of all of that. Do not fucking disrespect me on my fucking channel. Simple as that. I give you some respect because I know you and all the rest of it. But don't fucking then shut me down, talk over the top of me, tell me I have to be polite, and when I fucking am, you still don't shut the fuck up.
All right.
All this over talking and all this.
Anyway, what were we talking about?
Yeah.
Well, I think we need to acknowledge Robbie's, before we move forward, I think we do need to acknowledge, okay, this is Robbie's channel. When he wants to speak, we're going to let him speak. He's running the show here. This is part of his he does like the discourse. He doesn't mind us arguing, but he wants to get everybody's voice heard.
Other people get a chance to talk.
Now Go ahead, Robbie.
No, just other people get a chance to talk. It's not the Leo show.
Okay, well, we know that. And
Other people
Leo
have been
understands
talking.
that, Leo, you understand that we all want a balanced conversation, I think. So let's
Well, I
move on.
thought it has
Richard.
been, but
Okay, okay, it's all opinions at this point. We've all been here, so we all have our own opinions. Let's leave it at that about the meta and move on to the conversation, because the conversation is actually interesting. So, Richard, what is your response to the notion that in 2023 they are not putting glow plugs in diesel engines?
I'd like to share screen actually, because I brought
I
something
can't
up
at
that
the
is a
minute,
complete
it's
story, and
the whole script.
and it's
the script's not working tonight. Have you seen? It's freaked out a
okay.
couple of times.
If I could just read this aloud then real quickly. I just Googled diesel engine no glow plug. Okay. Yes, diesel engines can start without a glow plug, as mentioned above. Most large diesel engines do not even have glow plugs inside them at all. Okay, like Leo was talking about. Glow plugs don't trigger the combustion process in a diesel. Their purpose is to warm up the fuel-air mix to combust by itself. That is, it's a combination of the temperature that's necessary for combustion under that amount of pressure in diesel engines that do have glow plugs. That's a complete story.
Richard, would you believe a story that I told you that I heated up my car when the battery was near dead, drove 5 miles to work, then my dash died. Every electric in my car died. But the car continued to drive for another 3 or 4 miles till I got to work because it was already warm.
Was it gasoline or diesel?
It's a diesel.
It's a diesel. Yeah, diesel will run all by itself with like nothing attached to it.
Yeah,
your
once it's
power
got to
steering
that
still
certain
work?
temperature, once it's at that temperature and the compression can continue, as long as the diesel is coming in, you need no electrics. A petrol or gasoline engine must constantly have an electric attachment to it. There must be a spark. If you mix the two fuels together, you could probably run diesel and petrol in a petrol car, but not in a diesel car, because petrol's not designed to explode under that compression and temperature.
did your power steering go out when the electrical went out, or just the
I
electrical?
was on a motorway and turning the two corners would have been difficult. But on she went.
Yep.
No, the worst thing was no lights. The worst thing, not even lights. It was early in the morning. The worst thing was no speedometer, no nothing. It was just radio dies. Everything died. Just died. But it continued. And I know a guy that we used to work beside a garage, and we would remove fuel when silly people put the wrong fuel in the car. And he drove a 1983 Rover 45, and we had this mixture of diesel and petrol out the back, and he ran his car, which was a 1.4 petrol, smoky as hell, and he ran it for months for free, just siphoning out of that because it's scrap.
Yeah, we call it. There was a dump bed operator who was new to the job, put a bunch of gasoline in it in a diesel truck, probably about 75% gasoline to 25% diesel, cranked it up, and I'll tell you exactly what it did. Cranked right up, easy, pretty as you please, and would not stop accelerating. Boom!
Boom. Yeah.
So it ran away.
Yeah, it couldn't. You couldn't shut it off.
I blew up a couple of engines, you know. We tried to blow up a Pinto. I don't know if you've ever known of a Pinto engine. It's one of the original.
I've owned one.
Pardon?
Mazda 2.3.
Right. Well, we had the 2-liter Pinto engine over here that ran on leaded fuel before unleaded seals were put in it and all this, and we literally turned the car on its side with a brick in its accelerator, and we walked away to go and get fuel after a derby, because if the car didn't explode, you had to pay for it to be taken home. If it exploded, they would get rid of it. They would do that for you. It's a destruction derby. And we went for something deep and left it for a full half hour with a brick in the pedal, and it would not explode.
Right. Mazda, man, I'm telling you.
I
don't know shit
apologize,
about
Leo, if
those.
I can, for my reaction. When so many people are talking, and it's very difficult for me to get my bit out, I get a little triggered. Your communication style, as you know, sometimes triggers me, and I apologize for my reaction. You're not.
Well, I mean, that's all
asshole.
good. I don't take any offense to it. What the fuck?
I am completely offended.
Oh no,
I actually am offended.
I stood up
I
for you,
actually am
Richard. You
offended.
fuck off.
No, I'm serious. I'm quite serious, and I say this as hopefully constructive criticism. I know it's never comfortable for any of us when someone else, especially someone we care about their opinion, attacks us personally, or that we could take it personally. That's never a comfortable thing for anyone. But I'm not ignoring the fact. I'm not unaware of the fact that when MathPig said ABC, I don't put up with that on my channel. Leo, you immediately said, I didn't see any problem.
Well, I'm sorry, but I didn't. Not
Yeah,
with my
I know, but it's
behavior.
very
Well, he's saying what he'll put
dismissive.
up with on his channel. So
If if I can point out, if I can just say one thing, Leo's response is, I don't want you to take offense by that, because I have the exact same response with certain things, and it's something that I've been trying to work on. A lot of people in the real world see what we do as people with autism a different way than what we see it. I have said and done things in my recent past where people very close to me have said to me, Robbie, you're an asshole. Do you know if you continue to do this, you're an asshole? So I do understand. I see no problem in what I did. And I did it for a reason. And it's completely logical, and I am 100% correct in my statement. Everybody else doesn't see it that way. And it's only the alertness and the awareness of that I can, like, Leo, it's Leo. I expect Leo to be Leo. I expect every time Leo comes on here for me and him to fucking row for at least 5 minutes.
See, but that's exactly what I'm talking about. I think he displayed a defense mechanism, which I can easily justify. He was justified in the defense mechanism. I'm just saying, dude, you're loved here. You're loved here. You don't have to defend yourself. No one's here to hurt you.
I don't
It's
think
not.
that
No,
was
he doesn't
defense
see it that way.
mechanisming.
Yeah, it's not that. It's
That,
just
that like me defense mechanisming is I don't really
I
know how
don't.
to put that into words.
I have never seen Leo in defensive mode. Leo is always, I am offensive.
Yeah, I know what you meant though, Richard.
No, I understand where Leo's coming from, because I am a person who is similar in certain ways. So I have, David, see you later, man. Love the new sign. I'll work on the build, and I'll send you a link.
Grant, wonderful.
No bother.
Talk to you later, guys.
Talk to
Bye.
you later.
Oh, you're kicking off. Okay, peace out.
Oh my goodness, every time someone leaves or comes back, it is freaking out the script tonight.
did he miss my kiss? I blew him a kiss. Hope he saw it. Oh.
No. Leo is fine in the way he is, because that's Leo. My stepfather, I've wanted to stab 3 or 4 times, and I'm about 70% him. You know, you accept people for who they are. You just have to learn to deal with them. And every now and again, I need to scream at Leo so I can get the fucking point across. That's just the way it is.
Yeah, we all accept you. We all accept you for how you are, MathPig. A great
Don't
big
make-
asshole.
See, don't. I started therapy on Monday because you're all bastards.
I think you
I'm
got
telling you.
people asking you questions there in the side chat there, Piggy.
I've been a little busy. Right, go for it, Leo.
Yes, low out.
No. Hold
I-
on. No. I'm going to bow to Leo and Bree because they like to take over my channel. So would you two like to read the questions in the chat while I roll a smoke?
I actually don't know what they are. I was just like skimming through and I saw some. It just looked like some questions from people.
Well,
I
one
was
of them
just high to
said,
flow state. Jeez.
let's not deliberately hurt anyone if we can help it.
I
Okay?
had a question. I had a question that is still related to the engine discussion. Do gasoline engines and diesel engines have the same PV diagram?
Right.
What diagram?
Pressure volume diagram. Do they have the same one or?
No.
Okay. That was it.
Oh,
Thank you.
just as you sparked that in my mind. Richard, you said diesel engines over there run at 110. Are you talking Fahrenheit or centigrade? Because we run all of ours. I have like a thermal thing and all for the car. We run ours, I think it's 88 or 80, 82. It's in around the 80s.
I would have referred to it in Fahrenheit because that's what I'm used to. And in the United States, the temperatures I've seen, normal range, first starting up to temperature, so they're not smoking it anymore, is something between 205 to 215 degrees Fahrenheit.
So what's that in centigrade? I don't know.
I don't know.
That's gonna be about what, 94 to 100.
Okay.
95 to 100.
Not much.
I mean,
yeah.
205. You really? You've seen them run over 200?
Oh no, that's a minimum. 205 to 215 is an idle temperature that's when it's finally running smooth. It's going to go 230, 235 in normal operating range, all the way up to 245, I think.
Richard, secondary
I don't know, I'm
question.
not usually staring at the gauge when it's that hot.
Secondary question. You're talking industrial size engines. I spent most of mine working on 2 liter and 2.5 liter car engines. So
that's different.
That's what. Yeah, that's where the miscommunication may be.
And to Tapioca Weasel, you're going to need a much larger cam under your piston arms in a diesel engine than you would a gasoline.
Anybody feel
It's
free
going to have to be a
type
lot.
right.
The cams have to be a lot further off center for a larger stroke, for a longer stroke. Okay.
By the way, Richard was right there. For larger diesel engines, heavy-duty diesel engines, the operating temperature is 210 to 225 degrees Fahrenheit. But with like a medium-duty diesel engine that you find in a pickup truck, it's somewhere between 190 and 210. And so, like I said, I'm used to seeing somewhere between about 190 to 200 with those. So that's
Would
why
that be in around what I'm talking about? In around the 80s in centigrade, Leo?
Yeah, that's reasonable. Yeah.
But yeah, I've had a petrol car that I had to drive home, and its battery was done, and I had to drive without lights. I had to drive without indicators. I had to go back roads that I just knew off the back of my hand in the dark, and it broke down less than 300 yards from the house because I had to cross a main road, and I had to put the lights on to cross the main road so all the other cars seen me, and I got to the other side of the road 300 yards from the house, and it started 2 miles away, and it died because I switched the lights on, and it's a petrol car.
I cut my teeth driving on the farm in a 1973 I think it was that. Yeah, it's called a Datsun pickup truck with the rolled side rails. It wasn't formed; it was rolled like a tube, and we didn't even have a battery in that truck, but it was a standard.
One of the guys at work recently got finished building a beach buggy.
How did it start? Was it pneumatic start?
West Virginia. That's how it started every time. There's always a hill somewhere.
Oh, okay. I know what you're saying. All right. Okay.
Yeah. Get it rolling.
That's a good one, Richard. I like that. How did you start it? I lived in West Virginia. So, okay, I got you, buddy.
Yeah, you just park in a hill. I've been there, Richard. I've also been in the situation where you have to park in a hill to start the motherfucker, but the handbrake's broken, so you have to carry a stick with you and open the door and like throw a stick under the back wheel.
The amount of times I've had to do that to an old tractor, fucking at like a co-op or an old farm or something, because they had an old shit tractor there. Fucking have to have somebody pull up with a pickup and get it going, push the clutch in, come off the clutch, and get it going.
When it was flat, we had to get a good hustle going, you know, before we could get our vehicles rolling.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, you'd have to get it going like 15, 20. You push the clutch in as they're getting up, and once they hit it, let off the clutch, and it'd start.
I used to, yeah, like, how do you jump start a car in a fucking automatic?
Battery cables?
Battery cables? No, I'm talking like a hill start or whatever. Does that work the same as a? Everything over here stick. You know, fast, high performance, and old people cars are automatic. Everybody else drives stick.
You
automatic
can't
transmissions.
start an automatic. Yeah.
Yeah, automatic transmissions don't have clutches; they have torque converters.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. You couldn't jump start a car.
You couldn't push start it automatic. No, you
can't do that. No, you can't. Yeah.
Yeah.
That has to be done an awful lot over here. Batteries die and things like that and all. And I had to do it twice in this last 3 months over here at work because our car park's like this and the boys' cars have died and it's.
I want to move to Ireland. Who's that was gonna go? Go ahead.
Automatic
Oh,
transmissions
motorcycle.
and power steering and power brakes is for little old people. Drive a real car, y'all.
Like the
I like
Flintstones.
comfort, and I almost always put my vehicle in like cruise control, so I'm not missing anything on having power and shifting and all that crap. I can drive a stick. I don't care to.
The front driver's drive shaft on my car, which is the power wheel, right? Because it's front wheel drive over here, right? So it's the front driver's wheel that takes the power from the engine, puts it on the road. And the drive shaft, because I've checked everything else. I've checked the burns, the hub. I've taken the whole freaking right-hand side front of the car apart and put it back together again. And I've done about 2,000 miles on it and the wheel hasn't flown off yet. But you drive straight, it's normal. You turn right, it's normal. When you turn left, it's like...
It throttles when you turn.
Pardon?
It throttles when you turn the wheel.
No, there's a humming noise and a vibration that comes through the floor.
The power steering pump's not going to shit, is it?
No, the power, man, it has to be the drive shaft. It has to.
Oh, okay.
MathPig, is this what resulted in your prolapsed anus?
Right, you leave my prolapse anus out of it, right? And the worst of it is, Leo, right? I drove the sport version of this car for years, right? Jet black tinted windows, the whole 666 license plate and all. It's sitting in the yard. But because it's the sport version, the drive shaft's just a wee bit different. So I kept it so I could strip it for parts, and basically every single time something, and I bought this is my third model of the same car. I have been driving this particular model physically, but different size engines for, oh my goodness, I think about 19, 20 years.
What is it?
It's a Ford Mondeo. I drove the 2-liter version. I drove the 2-liter version until I put 300,000 miles on it nearly. It was a 2-liter diesel. I then loved it that much I bought the sport version, and then I got it chipped, and then I put new suspension in it, and it had tinted windows, and then I put a 666 license plate on it, and then some asshole decided to park in the middle of the road right round a corner, and I came around the corner and was like, ah! And hit, what the fuck? I went blah and broke the camera.
Too bad it's a Ford.
Oh yeah, Ford all the way, man. My car before all of them was a Ford Escort. The car before that was a Ford Escort. Like I've had a Ford Capri. I recently sold my Ford Capri that I bought when my daughter was born, so me and her could rebuild it. And I recently
that's
sold
such a
it.
cliche father-daughter activity. That's such a cliche father-daughter activity.
I will send you a video when she's 2, man. Right? No, I won't. But there's a video when she's 2, and I'm in the garage where I used to work, and her mum brought her car in, you know, because it needed serviced for MOT, which is the yearly check to make sure it's legal on the road. And I was like, come on out with daddy, you know, come with me. And she's 2, right? And you know them handheld guns, right? You know, you take the nuts off with the buzz, 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 right?
Yeah, an impact.
Impact wrench, exactly, right? So I turn round and my wee girl's got the impact wrench on the wheel and she's vibrating, right? And I'm taking the video like this and I send it to her mum in the waiting room, and her mum comes to the door and it's like, stop taking videos and take it off her. Fuck's sake, Robbie. It's like, okay, sorry. Okay. Like, no.
Hey, Taylor.
I picture my daughter when she was 4. I took her shooting. I used to build a lot of AR-15s and stuff, and she's so small that she can't even like get her shoulder on the stock. So I'm behind her holding the stock, and she pulled the trigger. And
I measured my wee girl on Friday evening. She is 4 foot, and she's 5. She is far too big.
That's tall.
Yeah.
How tall are you?
I'm not that tall. I'm 5'10". Used to be 5'10 and a half. Shaved my head. Yeah, I'm 5'10". She could have a spurt, like she's young, you know. She could have a spurt and then, you know, and then just stop. You know, I don't know, but at the minute she is in the 90th percentile. For her age group, she is one of the higher, you know, taller people. She's in fucking 9 to 10 clothes, you know.
Yeah, I'm 6'1" and I'm the runt of the men in my family. So, but my ex-wife is like 5'1". So it'll be interesting to see whose height genetics my daughter gets.
Wait,
Like,
how tall are you?
what is the average height in America? You know,
6'1".
You look like a tall guy, yeah.
What is the average height in America?
For men, I think it's 5'11".
5'9", 5'10". Is it 5'11"?
It,
5'10". I was gonna say, I thought it was somewhere around
Yeah,
5'10", 5'11".
I felt
think 5'10's better, closer.
Like
probably.
I only was in 2
I'm
cities.
below it.
I was only in
That's all I know.
2 cities when I went to America over Christmas, and I did hang around with Marty, who is quite tall and stuff like that.
Oh, you went to St. Louis, didn't you?
Yeah, Bree, me, and Red are all exactly 5'10", so it was perfect. But I generally felt that there was a lot more. Don't want to say tall and blonde and massive people in America, but I would feel that a lot more people. I'd say that to be a standard, flow state would be more of the standard. I was thinking more 6 foot, 6'1" is what I would have interacted with. Who joined and ruined everything? Oh my goodness! How did you even? Oh no! I know how you get in here.
It's my StreamYard.
No, this.
Now it's complete. Let's get the oil out. Let's do this. Do this thing.
According to
Who's
Healthline.com,
first?
in the United States, the average height for a male is 5 feet 9 inches.
Really?
Oh, wow.
I felt small in America.
Is there a date on that data? Just because I'm curious to know
I
when
understand
it.
that when Robbie says that he is 5'10" and me and Red are 5'10", Irish 5'10" is very different. Robbie's only about this big. So,
Irish 5'10" is like 5'6".
It's 5 inches, 10 millimeters. We all have small things over here.
He's a little bitty guy.
So did he have a pot of gold with him?
Leave me a pot of gold out of it. Leave me a pot of gold out of it.
He didn't take that out of his suitcase. He just had to keep it there. We did follow some ranges.
Did you get your hands on his Lucky Charms though, Bree?
She tried. She tried.
Uh-oh. I think the photographic evidence shows your hands on my Lucky Charm.
I'm just saying, there's one picture that I took at a certain angle because we were doing a challenge, right? Because
What kind of challenge?
Oh, the challenge is the glow stick. No, it's the glow stick challenge, right? I have a wrist of a certain width or whatever, and we had got an awful lot of glow sticks. We bought like 100 glow
I
sticks for
fit
the
10,
weekend.
and Robbie can only fit 3.
Right.
In where?
No,
right.
No.
Can I see the video evidence of this?
There is, right. I was sitting. They'd went to bed, right? They'd all passed out because they're American and no good. They'd ran out of coffee, whatever, right? And I wanted to put the glow stick on the wrist. It was late. We'd had a few drinks. They've all fallen asleep. I'm like, glow stick in this shit. It's party time, right? But the glow stick is pretty much the exact width of my wrist, with about you could put a filter through it.
That's
right?
a big ass glow stick.
Yeah, what?
No, it's a small glow stick, and the problem was putting
it goes around it. Did you have it looped around like a bracelet?
It's a rope, yeah, the bracelet style ones, but they're designed for kids. So on our adult arms,
it was very difficult to do with like a foldy thing and all this, and it took me about 10 minutes to figure out the way to do it. Right?
How to get your little fist in there?
Oh no, my fist was in there. I'm wrapping this shit around, right?
Oh.
And it took me about 10.
It had to be just so. It had to be.
You had to do it a certain way just to get the wee connector, because it's just a sleeve to connect the two bits together.
That's what she said.
Right?
Sorry.
We call it a stock here.
I said it to Bree, and Bree's like, "Oh, no bother. I can do this, grand," and all the rest of it. And I have a video of Bree on her knees on the floor after drinking Buckfast, which is the Irish alcohol I brought over, looking up at me going like this here. And it's, Yeah, it took you just as long.
Will all your stories be end with me on my knees? Is that
No, just this one particular one.
Looking up at you.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Just like that. There's an angle that's just
saying.
No, it was really good. It was really good to actually get over and see everyone. As I did mention to Bree about an hour after they arrived, their head's an awful lot bigger than what I'm used to.
Yeah, I had a commentary on my big head. I don't actually have that big of a head, Robbie. Again, he's just tiny.
Well, there's 9 heads on a screen that's only 27 inches wide. So, yeah. Your head was an awful lot bigger when I seen you in person.
Yeah, you were expecting me to come up with a little grape-sized head, huh?
The very first thing Red seen or whatever, when I walked into the airport, I walked around the airport, right, with a friend who I've just met, so I know for sure that when I arrive in the next airport, I've got somebody with a mobile phone. Her name was Erin. She was in the military. She's also avoided going home for a year and a half because she's troubles at home. We had 7 hours to talk. Told her about all of you. Told her about Sammy. Told her about Brie. And Red rocks up to me, puts her arms around me, and licks me from here to here before she kisses me. Because she said, I'm going to lick your face the moment I see you. And I was like, right, I don't believe it. No. Big slobbery. And then I get my hugs.
Sounds like a kinky weekend.
Oh, if that sounds kinky to you, you need to get out more, man. There was a whole other 9 days.
Oh, shit.
I was only there for a few of them. I did not
That's all
experience
that's all one person can take it, I would imagine.
Yeah. You have to pay if you want to see that stuff.
I have now.
I would do that.
Brie.
Take my money.
Oh, right. I have finished editing the New Year's Eve night party.
Yeah, you're gonna let me watch it before you show anybody else. I don't know what I did that night, and
Wait,
here's the crack.
Why should you get a special view?
I've split it into 2, right?
I am wearing a leopard print skirt and knee-high yellow socks, though.
Just to say, this is only for members and this is only for Patreons. I don't do much for the people who actually contribute to the channel. Sammy, you asked why your name was removed from the video. I double-checked it all, and I understand your situation as it is at the minute with so I just assumed that you'd made that decision, but your thing, no, you're not in any way affiliated in any way.
And I'm sure I'm a member of your channel, at least.
Nope.
Really?
As far as I am aware, when I made the video, everything
look, I can see the perks. I'm a member for 9 months and 26 days.
He's just trying to get some free video. I see.
Anyway, no, Sammy would get it anyway. There's certain people. The point is, I'm trying to say to Brie, right? What happened is, Brie, there's the first 10-15 minutes of us setting it up, having a bit of banter, you coming out from making sure that Maya hasn't vomited in her own sleep because she had too many wee brownies. And it's just you at the wee breakfast bar that we'd set up going, so Maya's just going to take it easy tonight. She's not feeling so well. And then I just put music on for the rest of it. So the entire conversations for the entire night, there's none of it. There is, and it ends with me waving down the neighbours as they go into their apartment and bringing them in. And as they come in, the cameras go down and it ends like that. And I've split it into 2 parts. But that'll be for members and Patreons and stuff. I think it runs for maybe an hour and a half, you know.
I believe that badge against my name means I'm a member. You rotting bastard.
Yeah, but shouldn't you be green too, though?
I've missed out on
Why aren't you
probably
green?
nothing.
Yeah, why aren't you green?
I don't know. Well, how does it?
Moderator status usually takes secondary because Tapioca Weasel is also a moderator.
You lose your moderator
I'm not a
status
moderator.
if you're a
I'm
member.
not a moderator on your channel.
Are you not?
No.
You lose moderator. You lose moderator status if you become a member.
Don't stick up for
No, you
Sammy.
don't. No.
I lost moderator status on Tang and on
Regios. Look at him.
Yeah, no, look,
He's
I
one
am
of
a member.
Damn it. No, I know Regios for a fact. Regios is the top supporter of the channel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's.
Fuck yous all. Right. Okay, I'll go and find
I'm a
that file.
patron, not a
I'm going to
channel
have to
member,
go
though.
and find
I've
it.
been thinking about
Right?
switching to a channel member instead.
I'm just a grifter.
Don't switch.
Yeah,
Patreon gives more of the money to the creator. I like to be a member because it can be like fun and chat, and you can like gift memberships, and that's super fun.
I'll be straight up honest and all. There is I think 8 or 9 or 10 people that's in the video, you know, contribute to me. In total, I get possibly I think after tax and stuff like that, it's $45 or £45 after the conversion rate or whatever. But I give most of that back out and I support again. I take £14, which is 1 night of free wine a month. And that's I everything else I put back in and I support other people. And that's the truth. I'm not saying anything. So when you support the channel, your money will go towards supporting other people. You know, the more that money I get in through Patreon, the more that gives me the ability to support other people. Like I support you, Brie. Yeah, I'm.
It's funny because I support MathPig on Patreon, and then MathPig supports me on Patreon. So
I support her more.
It's
You
all a
guys
big
could-
rift.
You guys could just keep your money and stop paying Patreon.
No,
You know what?
Okay, my bad.
no, because I get.
it's about him being able to see stuff on my Patreon.
Sweet Peas in the
that.
chat. Sweet Peas a deserter. Deserter. I have to take Sweet Peas moderator statuses off because I joined their Discord like a week and a half ago, and they left my Discord today after 3.5 years, 6 days, and 4 hours. Sweet Pea, why? 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 I really don't care. There's nothing happening. Your account was deleted. Oh, well, that gives a reason why. A particular person sent me a Facebook message saying, I think you know this person. I'm sorry that they've passed away, and sent a link to what looked like a genuine...
Don't click that.
I did click that. I did click that. Right?
No.
It sent me to download TikTok, and then I went, oh, for fuck's sake, and then went and changed my passwords.
You got hacked.
No, I didn't. Someone else got hacked, and I instantly changed my passwords. I then went into the app, checked where I was logged in, said I was logged in in Liverpool, made sure that account was specifically closed down. Then I changed my passwords.
Did you tell the person that they got hacked so they could change their password?
Yeah, I did. I went, this can't be real. You have to have been hacked, or must have been hacked, or are you hacked, or whatever. Yeah.
So I got to turn the Wi-Fi off on your cell phone when you leave the house.
I have never been hacked. I have double, like, you know, there's 14 MathPig accounts, and I only own 13 of them, you know.
You better knock on that wood, MathPig.
Well, that's tight.
Okay, so I'm stupid and I don't know a whole lot of computer stuff. So if any of you would like describe in detail what you were just talking about, what's the scam?
MathPig makes people become members of his channel, and then he doesn't.
Then he doesn't put their name.
And he turns around and says, "You're not a member." I've only got a
No,
badge
that's
because I've been
wrong
there for
scam.
9 months.
No, Sammy,
that,
wrong
yeah,
scam.
sorry.
It's the other scam I was asking
The
about.
actual
I already know that one.
Do you want to know the
My bad.
YouTube scam? Do you want to know the big YouTube scam that is the YouTube scam at the minute?
No, I think he
Yeah.
was legitimately asking specifically about the scam that you were, or somebody getting hacked. Like, was there a phishing thing
Yeah.
or something like that?
Yeah, no, that particular thing was they sent me a video, right, which was a link to what looked like a report on someone that had, and it was, I think you know this person, I'm sorry they passed away. When I clicked it, it said Facebook would like you to verify your account to see this article. It had my email popped up because that's obviously knowledge available, not my password. I then had to type my password in to get to a page that was a fucking download TikTok. So that person then, or that entity, that bot, had gained access to my email.
Oh, you actually verified your password?
Man, I never even thought
You
because the
did.
person is trusted. I just typed the password in. I don't use Facebook on my phone at all. So I expect, like, I only use Facebook Messenger to contact my partner, right? That's it. I don't like Facebook. I don't like Facebook Messenger. I've even asked them a million times to use something. I hate it. So being asked when it loaded up in Chrome for me to log in was totally normal. I wouldn't be on Chrome logging in, you know? I even sent them a message going, I hate Facebook Messenger, and then clicked it because I knew this shit was going to happen anyway, you know? So it was natural for me. I didn't think. When I seen the TikTok download, I went, oh, fuck me. So then I went in, found out who was logged in, some cunt in Liverpool, kicked him, changed my passwords. You know? Made sure it didn't. But, yeah, I don't get hacked that much. Lots of some different and all that crack.
I got done by a similar one on Facebook that said,
Why do people
Sam.
use?
Sam, is this you? Shock face. And then a link. And I was like, fuck, what's out there about me? So, of course, I clicked on it. And then it sent that to everyone in my contacts. It
Well,
was
all I've
just one
got
of
from
those-
that is I need to start searching the internet because you feel guilty. And that Bree started nodding. Did anyone else see Bree nodding as well? Going, yeah, shit be out there.
Yeah, there's a. I'm not saying that Sammy doesn't have an OnlyFans. I'm not saying that he does either. Just we'll just leave that.
Might be someone who looks. It might be a doppelganger.
Mm-hmm.
We've all been there where we're watching a porn and we're like, wait a fucking minute.
Is that Robbie?
I don't remember. It's like I don't remember that.
Even in genuine seriousness, in real life, about maybe 8 or 9 years ago, my mother's mother walked up to who she thought was her daughter because she got out of the exact same car, had the same haircut of the same color, and turned around, and the woman was neat. Like, my granny's old; she just turned 87, but 7-8 years ago, she's still 80, and she tried to talk to this woman. The woman had no fucking clue who she was, and my granny shouted at my mum the next time for blanking her in the street. And this woman actually drove the same car of the same color in the same town, as well as looking like my mum.
Could I coattail off of what I think that's what I think it was Flow State down there said. You ever been watching a porno and you see somebody that looks a hell of a lot like you, and it makes you start questioning, like, did I do a porno with someone?
Leo, right? Here's an anecdote.
Leo, I think you would be good at that. That's what
I just want to say, if I can, I just want to say, Kazoom, thank you for joining. I apologize with this next story I'm going to say. Sounds like, but Leo, on that topic, we went to Amsterdam as a group of guys. I've been there with lots of different groups of people and girlfriends and all. But this particular time we went with a group of guys, and there was a particular girl there who was the spitting image of my mate's wife. And one of the guys specifically went back and paid. And he came back and was like, I banged your wife. She was a spitting image of it. Spitting image. Hello, Kazoom. Thank you for joining, Kazoom. And
gladly.
I thought your comment earlier caught my eye. And I was like, I always enjoy your input. So I sent you the wee message. But thank you for Kazoom.
Right on, man.
If anyone doesn't know Kazoom, feel free, any of my mods, to post Kazoom's link. Kazoom's old school. And for everything from I've been long hair and topless rocking out in the basement to the wonderful, very respectful man we see before us now. He has covered everything in maybe the 10 years that he's been on the internet. So a lot of respect for Kazoom, people. Check him out there.
Right on, man.
You got a shout out from I can't even remember. I just became his Patreon there like 2 weeks ago. He's just come back on the scene. Your name was tagged in the video. I can't remember.
I hypocrite?
No, he's a British guy. He's a fireman. Bald head. No beard. Oh my goodness, I can't remember. I'm having a complete brain fart.
Wait, hold on. Who did you say this was,
Whistler?
MathPig? Who did you say this was, MathPig? What was the name?
No, they shouted out. They literally played your 2-minute video. I think you do know of them from back in the day. They've been around for ages.
No, I'm talking about the guy that entered the stage.
Kazoom.
Oh, Kazoom. Kizzume. Kazoom.
The one thing I did want to say is you have a very crisp sounding mic there, my friend.
Oh, thanks.
I've put Kazoom's chat in the link in the chat.
And I am looking for.
Yeah, he's got one of those extremely wonderful voices.
It's what I call an NPR mic.
No audio.
It's one of those mics that makes you feel like you're listening to All Things Considered.
Noel
They're
Plum.
right up there. They're right on the mic. It's like they're right there in your ear.
Next on All Things Considered.
Noel Plum. That's the name. Kazoom. That's the name. Noel Plum gave you a shout out about 2 weeks ago and played your 2-minute video on the whole idea of where the spectrum has gone on gender. That particular, I can't remember the title. That's the description I'm giving. But yeah, it was Noel Plum. That's the name I'm looking for. They gave you a shout out and played your video on your channel.
Oh yeah, totally. Yeah, that was cool.
Yeah, Noel Plum's very cool guy.
Noel Plum's a good guy.
Yeah, I had the pleasure of interviewing him, and what I liked about Noel is I reached out and asked him to interview, and he was like, "Yeah." And then about 3 weeks later, he must have watched a few of my videos and everything. He was like, You know, that looks like fun. I might come in, and I respect that. He was like, don't know who you are, fuck off. Then went and did some research, and he had an enjoyable enough time, I can assume, that he actually promoted the interview on his channel, left the video up for a week, and it's one of my like top 10 most views videos on my channel because of that. If he hadn't told his audience that it was a decent interview, they wouldn't have come by. So a lot of respect for Noah.
Well, while
Nice.
we're sucking Kazum's cock, I have to say you have such a professional look there. I actually thought you were fake when you popped in out the back. I was expecting you to porn bomb us.
He's just in time to continue the conversation about porn we've watched that look like somebody we know. Nah.
By the way, am I just me? It's just me, or there are some people having static, especially Mr. Flo over there, Mr. Cigar Smoking.
I was
So-
cigar smoking is a definite thing, man. When my baggage was lost on the way back and had to go through customs, totally nothing to do with the weed I tried to bring back into the country at
Yeah,
all.
totally nothing.
I had brought to smoke with that motherfucker, which I think on the main screen is in the bottom left hand corner with the black and white background behind him. I brought me. That is a lovely vodka, man. That's all I drank in America. That is a lovely vodka. I'm well priced.
Which
New
one?
Amsterdam is my brand for vodka.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
Nah, man.
I brought
Tito's.
an
Belvedere.
18-year-old cigar, right? That was given to me. It was a Dominican Republic cigar that was given to me, and it was aged 18 years when I got it. And I got it whenever my daughter was born. She is about to turn 6 in February, and I brought it with me to roll a blunt with that motherfucker in the bottom left-hand corner. But due to in real life circumstances and that, there was not the ability. I had to bring that then back again with me. I mean, I was all opening it, and I was like, if you open that seal, man, I'm gonna like no. And he opened
So
the
you
case.
brought a good cigar to use as a zigzag?
Pardon?
You brought a good cigar to cut open and use as a zigzag?
Blunt wrap?
It is that big, man, that I could cut half of it and have it as a cigar and still have it like it's massive. Generally, what I do for blunts, like as you would refer to, I understand your zigzags. I was in Cyprus and I bought 25 cigars for 20 euros, and they are just standard. And that's what I usually use. I don't like these fakes again. You know, when I was in America, Brie. Are they still here? No, Brie left. Brie and Red both like is it blueberry wraps or whatever? My
Blueberry
fingers,
blunts, yeah.
my fingers stank afterwards.
White Owl, Swisher Sweet.
No
Something
idea.
like that.
My fingers stunk afterwards. Like of this smell, it rubbed off of me. I
Or
didn't like
grape.
the taste. I didn't like the way it stuck. I would much rather use a cheap tobacco leaf than an
Are you
actual.
telling me that they cover over the flavor of their weed with fruity flavors in their rolling paper?
No.
Yeah, well, the thing
In
is, it's not a
blunts.
rolling paper.
Yeah.
They
no, you
refer
just-
to them
you-
as blunts, and they're
It's a blunt
brown.
wrap. So, do you know
Well,
what like
it's-
a White Owl or a Swisher Sweet is? The
It's a
little
cigarillo.
cigarillos,
Yeah,
the cigarillos that you can get. They're like a cigar, but they're like a lot narrower and smaller. And they come into little like foil packs that you can get at like a
And
convenience
they're
store.
fruity, but
And
they
And
are
they have
Yeah,
a little
yeah.
plastic tip.
Well, some of them have the plastic tip, yeah.
Yeah.
But
Wood.
you can and they come in like a pack of 2. I don't know what they might be in Australia, but at least I'm assuming that's where you're from, and you don't sound English.
Usually individually.
Oh, okay.
In Australia.
But people break those open, dump the tobacco out, and then roll weed in it. And I'm not a fan of blunts because it does mask the flavor of the weed. There are certain times where, like, you know what, it actually does have a pretty good taste when the weed, the flavor of the weed matches the flavor of the wrap. But that's not. I have found that it's not very frequently. I would just prefer to roll joints.
I also
I don't
just-
need this fancy blunt wrap shit.
I'm a bong man myself.
I don't know if you know
Yeah,
these
I've
King
never
Edwards.
understood
There's a King
blunts
Edward I
at
found
all.
wrapped up in there as well.
People slobber all over their blunts. It's a problem. They think it's okay to just like slobber all over them and then
It's like,
like
ugh.
deep throat the whole thing and pull it out and like, here, you want to light it? Like, fuck
No, you see, when I roll a blunt, I am very, very particular about it. I make sure it's this and it's right and all the rest of it. And if the blunt cannot stand, and you set it on the table and it can't stand up by itself, it's not right. I have a picture from America, and if Bree was here, they'd back me up. I made sure that blunt that stunk my hands and was awful was perfectly dried. I even cut, do you know the sticky bit of the paper, of just a white paper, and wrapped that just around the filter, because you usually find when you get to the bottom of a blunt, it gets very warm and it splits. So I'd pre-prepared and all that. It was beautiful, and it's just sitting there. I wouldn't smoke it at all. It didn't taste like a blunt, it was blueberry. What the hell is the point? It's a brown paper that tastes of fruit.
Yep. What do you guys think of Esmeralda's or Randy's?
I don't smoke many cigars. That's what I've been smoking.
No, they're not cigars. They're rolling papers. The rolling papers that have the little wire in them that as you burn it down. Yeah,
Those
the
are
Randy's
awesome.
are the big ones, and the
Randy's-
Esmeraldas are the small.
Randy's are great because they come with their own roach clip. Like, it comes out and you can just use the end of it. As its own-
It's a metal wire in the wrap. It's fucking badass.
I could not get over the fact that when I went to America, not only were your papers of a heavier weight, and same brand for brand. Like I bought a packet of, I brought a packet of Raws home with me, and I bought a packet of Raws from the shop, and my Raws are lighter weight than your Raws. Even by color, I can see through mine more.
Were they same size? Same size papers?
No.
Like 2.5 or whatever?
I could not
because
get.
Sometimes the size can affect
This is the
weight
size
too,
of papers.
so.
We call these king size slims, right? So it's king size, and then
Are those 2.5s or?
It's a king size slim.
They're king size, man.
This is what we
I
refer
found
to
this.
as a standard skin, and this is a king size. So that's it, right?
Yep.
So that's a cigarette paper, and this is a king size cigarette paper, right?
Yeah.
And I couldn't find these in America in standard shops or anything like that. All I could find was this size, but a little wider, and they were Raw. Raw's a general good brand. It's what I use over here, so I bought that. They were still a heavier weight. There was also a crisscross sort of pattern in the paper, but they were heavier. I could, not see through them. But I can take, now this is a different skin. You can get these cheaper over here. These are called Swan Silver. They're only £1, only $1, and they're king size, you get 32. But like this is a very lightweight skin that, just disproved my point. They're very hard, doesn't break, even though it's lighter, it's stronger. What I found when I was rolling joints over there was when I would wrap it around and lick the skin, that little amount of water, that little amount of moisture would just make the skin fall apart. Like
it acted like toilet paper.
It was, I might as well have used.
You were using Raw?
That was all I could find locally. Now, we went into St. Louis for the New Year's Eve
Raw's
weekend.
usually like one of the best.
Yeah, not over here. No, Raw's just the standard. Raw's the basic over here, right? When we went over to St. Louis and stayed in St. Louis, we did do a walk. We found a wee smoking shop where you might appreciate this, Leo, or you might not. I got a wee suitcase. It comes with a tray. Like there's the grinder, the wee grinder and all. Comes with that, a tray, 2 cone holders, a wee thing. It wasn't that expensive, but it's a mini suitcase, and it's like I had to have this, right? So we found this wee smoke store.
Serious.
Yeah, we trailed class, right? OCBs, they are the cream of the crop over here. If you were to buy real good skins, you would be buying OCBs, all right? And we found OCBs. You get them for £1.60 over here, and they come with the roach and everything with the wee fold-out packet and shit. They were like $4 and $4 maybe over there, which was quite expensive. But yeah, like I can understand because people in America would rather smoke a bowl, rather smoke a bong. Yous are very weed only orientated if you're smoking weed. We would smoke an awful lot of weed with, tobacco. Plus, it's very normal for people over here to smoke rollies. It's cost effective to smoke rollies. What I noticed with cigarettes over there, cigarettes here are £12 sterling. So you're talking $14 maybe, what, $13, $14?
And rolled cigarette.
For 20. Where over there, you can buy 3 packets of cigarettes for that.
Missouri is the cheapest cigarette state, I think, in the whole country.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it is.
I think
it's either there with alcohol or close.
Well, because Anheuser-Busch is headquartered there, so you got the best alcohol laws. You got the best cigarette tax. I live right on state line, so if I'm in Kansas, I smoke Cools. I smoke L&Ms. If I'm in Missouri, I smoke Cools.
We pay nearly $100 for a pack of 50s.
What are 50s?
50 cigarettes.
For a pack of
50 cigarettes.
Like 50 individual?
Yeah, like pre-rolled cigarettes.
So right, no. When we were, if I
cigarettes.
can just get clarification, man, right? We would, and I thought in America as well, there's what's known as a sleeve, which is 200 cigarettes in a box, pre-rolled.
We call that a carton.
It's called a carton. Yeah.
Carton, sleeve, right? What would that carton or sleeve cost you to make it relative? For me over here, it would cost £100. In America, it cost $50.
In Iowa, they're like somewhere between 60 and 80 bucks a piece, I think, something like that.
When I went to Missouri,
It'd be hard pressed to find a good cigarette for $50 a carton here.
Yeah.
We would pay around $200.
Damn.
This particular cigarettes, because I didn't fricking get out of the house in time.
Are they Camels? What is that?
I was doing the daddy thing and didn't get to go to the shop in time. And there's a local shop that does the whole. We definitely didn't pay someone to fly to a different country and bring us in cheap cigarettes, and they sell them under the counter, right? And they have multiple brands, multiple prices, and it's because they closed. I had to go to the shop and buy the same brand at normal price. This was £11 and 25p. It is JPS Players, right?
Yeah.
Which
you'd be looking at about nearly $30.
Woo! For this.
For that packet right there.
Right, I paid 11. I think in America, you would call these 100s. 100s are generally the longer ones.
Yeah, they're a little longer.
Yeah, there's no difference in price here between the other ones and these. And if I'm using tobacco for just rolling joints,
there's no difference in tobacco content. It's the same amount of tobacco shoved into a little bit longer paper.
No, there is actually more tobacco. Well, but regardless, whatever, it doesn't matter, right? I get them, and they are that price. They were literally the same brand in America. To buy a sleeve was $50. And what I pay over here for the illegal ones under the counter is $5. But if I bought them, it's $11.74 or $11.24, whatever the fuck it was. It's insane. Now I can understand where they're going with it. Tobacco's bad. It's not great. Did you not see?
But it's still your decision, right? That doesn't mean that they should just tax the fuck
anybody
out of it.
see?
Yeah, but taxing it doesn't remove your decision to smoke. You can still choose to smoke. That doesn't affect your decision. You can still choose.
It does affect your decision. Should they be? Who gives them the authority to penalize you or make your bad decision more harmful?
Penalize. What do you mean by penalize?
What do you think I mean?
By taxing you.
I don't see how a tax is
imposing higher and higher and higher and higher tax on one.
I don't
item.
possibly see how you could not
How
see
is that
how
not a
tax is
punishment?
penalty.
I don't see it as a punishment. I might see it as like a disincentive, but not a punishment.
But why would that disincentivize you to smoke? Because it harms.
Because when you don't have the money to afford it, it's like didn't you just say like 2 minutes ago that if cigarettes cost that much, you that would like motivate you to quit or something like that?
Right, but I don't want them to motivate.
It would force you to.
Well, but that's the thing. I do want people to be motivated to quit, and if this does it, then that's great. Yeah. Well, no, it's
really
because
stop my mother from doing that.
Results in the death of 86,000 people a year in just the United States alone, and it's something that's absolutely horrid for your health and other people. So, but see, nothing that I'm saying.
That's a load of
that I'm
shit,
saying,
Leo, because more
nothing that I'm
people
saying
die
removes your decision.
And diabetes and being overweight, but you can still fucking deep fry a Mars bar and then wrap that in a fucking another chocolate and deep fry that and sell it, and that's perfectly fine.
And I mean, if
where the fuck did you see that, Sammy?
That's not
the
really
claim
the
that tax
problem
don't remove
with
our
obesity.
Decision, the claim that doesn't remove our decision. I mean, you could apply that then to any law, right? Like it doesn't. You don't not have the decision to not murder. You still make that decision. You know, it's kind of disingenuous. I mean, it's entirely.
Well, I mean, that is technically correct. That is technically correct, though. You have the decision. You can choose to murder people. It's just that there are going to be broad social punishments imposed on you when you do that.
It intentionally misses the point.
What? So what point does it
Exactly.
miss?
How you just said, Leo, that it's not the problem with the obesity. That's right. It's the people choosing, right?
Well, no, that's also not the problem.
But that seller is allowed to sell as unhealthy a thing as he likes, right? But the person gets to choose whether to eat it and become obese and get diabetes and blah, blah, blah. But I can't choose to smoke and get cancer and whatever else if I.
So you're saying that we should bar?
Why do they
bar
arbitrarily get to coerce me or whatever you say, encourage me to not smoke, but they're not doing it across the board?
Well, so wait, are you saying that
Dad has a question.
Like we ought to do what?
Don't piss off Dad again.
I don't know what that means.
He's making a comment to me losing my bap, right? On this topic, I want to ask both the people on the panel this question. The idea, I would agree with both what people are saying if an alternative was given, right? And this is what Tucker Carlson recently has went and done a whole fucking rant about, right? It's if you said to me, we're going to make cigarettes 30 quid a packet, but we're going to make weed cigarettes $10 a packet because we have seen the medical science that this is better than this. Really arbitrarily and really short version, right? And that is what can be seen.
I have a very specific answer to that question.
Wait till you see this, though. Wait till you see this, right? I don't know if you've seen Tucker Carlson do this bullshit in this last week.
Well, just to comment as you find that.
I've done. I've been.
So when they brought out these nicotine replacements, like the sprays and the gums and all of that, I was keen. I wanted to try and quit smoking. And I went and looked at these things, and the price of these things was far, far more expensive than smoking. And the reason I couldn't take the leap was I was too scared. I could either afford my smokes or this substitution. And now what if I spend all this money on this substitution and it doesn't work and I end up fucking losing my mind? I need a smoke, but I can't now afford it. So I never bothered. Whereas if I said if the government really gave a shit and wasn't just trying to tax the fuck out of us and get that extra dollar, they would make these other alternatives free or very cheap, subsidized in a pharmacy, something. And I would try it. I would try all of it. The gums, the sprays, whatever the fuck they got, patches, give it to me. But if you're going to charge me twice the cost of my cigarettes, I would just get my cigarettes.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, the way it is right now, I mean, at least here in the States, it's maybe it's worse in other countries. I don't know, but they have such a high tax on cigarettes. I mean, it's what is it, a 200-300% tax?
Not only that.
I don't know if it's that high.
Is it the same in Australia? If you look at the packet, that is a guy's foot literally rotting off as a picture on the front and the back of the packet with giant.
Yeah, we don't have that, but we do have pretty high prices, though. I mean, when the absolute cheapest you can possibly get, with tax anyway, is about $50 or $60 a carton. You know, that's the cheapest, the absolute nastiest bottom of the barrel. That's how much you're spending. That's quite a tax.
Oh, are you ready? Oh my God! So, tobacco tax rise comes after cigarette prices soar 343% in 20 years, and that was in 2016. And we have gone up 25% of whatever the price is in a year, every year since 2016 as well. So that percentage is actually much higher today.
But it's saying that you can't understand
that's
it.
Criminal.
It is bad for us.
All these
it is awful.
taxes are not. They're not at all intended to help people have better health. It's purely exploiting an addiction.
Right. Well,
How
I'm
does it
gonna
do that?
Right. To take that
No,
into
seriously.
consideration.
Because
Yeah,
you know
I wanna know how
that
it does.
smokers are
It
addicted
didn't
to
make me
cigarettes.
quit.
Right.
It
You
They
just
don't-
made
they
me
don't
spend
spend-
my fucking
Well,
money
yeah, but
on
that's
this
just
shit.
anecdotal evidence. I don't want like
They-
your
yeah.
personal experience. I want like
They
actual
don't-
hard data.
They don't spend any of that money on methods to stop people from smoking. They don't spend any of that money on that. So if they spent the money on that, then it would be a little different. But they don't spend any money on that. They just
That
get
doesn't
the
mean it's
money and don't.
exploitative.
They just get the money and don't do anything with it to stop any of it.
Is Richard
Well,
there?
I
Do you
don't-
understand how
that
addictions
doesn't make-
work?
Is
that
Richard
doesn't
there?
make-
Do you
that-
understand how addictions work?
Yes,
Richard
I do.
there.
There's no
that doesn't
data
make
in
sense.
the other
Okay.
direction, Leo.
It absolutely
So-
makes
Well,
it
actually,
work.
there is.
Is
data
Richard
in
there?
the other direction. Anyway, to say that they don't use this tax money for anything is false. At least in the United States, they use that tax money for a variety of things. The fact that they don't use it to like stop smoking doesn't mean that
What do
taxing
they use it for?
cigarettes higher is exploitative. And I still
What
have
do
yet
they
to
use
hear
it
what
for?
I still have yet to hear what the exploitative factor is.
Well, just because you don't understand it doesn't mean we haven't explained
Okay,
it.
so then
Do you
explain it to me.
understand
Don't
addiction?
belittle me for not understanding
I-
it. Explain it to me.
I feel-
What's the
feel disappointed
exploitative
with this
factor?
again. The exploitative factor is that you know that people with an addiction are going to seek that addiction even to unreasonable ends. So what do? You use those areas to ratchet way up the tax rate and make something that would otherwise be a very cheap addiction an extremely expensive one.
Short timeout.
So
Yes,
very
MathPig.
simple.
Short timeout. Short timeout. MathPig, yes, I'm here. Do you need me to go backstage or let someone else in?
No, I wanted to ask if Richard agrees with the statement. Does the end justify the means?
In cigarette taxation
No.
toward what
In
end?
that, do you agree singularly in the statement, which I just asked you, that one thing, that the ends, if proven to be right in all the conversations that we've had, and it's the best thing, justifies the means? Yes?
Yes.
Right. In this country, working around, we have taxed the shit and all the rest of it. They may have went too much in Australia. 90%, 80%, whatever anecdotal number you want to fucking pick, are quitting cigarettes because of the cost of them. They are then seeing the benefit from it. I am also, it's got that point now, even the cheap cigarettes aren't fucking worth having. And the market has
So let me
been
ask you
flooded.
let me reframe it philosophically then.
No, I just want one more sentence, right? One more sentence.
Okay.
The biggest thing that's made me want to quit cigarettes is, even as I've said on camera, my daughter knows that the green stuff is good because she grew up around her grandfather using it as medication before he died, and cigarettes being bad, which she refers to as brown, because it is when I roll joints. Brown is bad, green is medicine. She still lifted a pen about 3 weeks ago and put it in her mouth and pretended. Now, with her understanding, and I'm not going to do the proud daddy, she wanted to be part of that, regardless, knowing that it's bad, knowing of all the badness, me telling her that I'm trying to give them up, she still wanted to be part of the fucking tribe, the group. And that's given me more of a drive than the price. But most of the people I talk to in the street, they're quitting because it's cost effective.
Okay, but who do you think that people should have first priority ownership over their bodies, even if they're going to make bad decisions with it?
100%. If I can say, and I'll give to Leo, 100% I agree with that statement. If people are educated to a certain level where they are aware of the situation, 100% going in.
So there's a threshold at which you don't think people should have first claim to their bodies.
I think people
no.
Educate. No, I didn't say that. Right? Sorry, I'm gonna just. Leo, I want to give you the floor. Right?
Leo, you'll get your chance. Don't worry.
Right? I just feel that if I'm going to get, like, people say to me, are you worried about this when your daughter grows up, or worried about that? And I will answer in what most parents would say, yes, with a no, because I have given my daughter the ability to think for herself, the tools that she needs to move forward. So in a circumstance where very personally and all this levels, someone is educated to a point where I consider this is the point, Yes, if they are aware and fully educated and know how to look for problems, go knock yourself out. Go have a fucking great time. I'm reading a book at the minute where it's very much like that.
It's a general question, though. So, I mean, do you think that there are people who shouldn't have first right to their body? You know, given that they're adults, right? Do you think there are any adults who should not have first claim to their body? What they do?
We're missing the fundamental premise here.
You'll get your chance. I'm just trying to suss out.
You're being very particular in your wording, and you want me to agree to something, and I'm giving you an answer.
You can't address each situation.
You're trying to put him into a corner here,
No, I'll take the corner, Kazoo, right? I will reword Flow State's question. Do I think that fucking stupid people who don't know what they're doing should have things that are better for their health forced upon them? Yes. It's better for society as a whole for everybody to be at a certain level of education and health. If people...
How far should that go? Because that's... The concept of that could really go far into some terrifying territory.
Well, this is where Kazoo wants me to go. This is where Kazoo wants the conversation to go. The extremity of it. Like, I thought I was very clear in what I put across. We want to take the extreme.
Well, I mean,
go.
If people could prove that, I mean, if people could prove that living a particular lifestyle is better, and well, what if we made it illegal to live a lifestyle that's other than something that's approved or whatever? I mean, how far could this go?
No, smoking isn't illegal. Smoking isn't illegal.
This is why I asked Richard first.
Come to your house, right, and force you to work out each morning.
Yeah, but that's not happening with smoking. Nobody's coming to your house. The analogy just doesn't work.
Why stop at smoking? No, it's not an analogy.
Well, then what's the point?
Using the thin end of the wedge. Exactly. Let people decide for themselves. Educate the fuck out of them.
You can still smoke if you want to.
You don't need to penalize people.
You're not penalizing anybody.
That's definitely a penalty.
It is.
In virtue of what?
Focusing on one thing, that's penalizing it.
I can't get to my backstage, so
penalize all.
How does that make something a penalty? How does that make something a penalty?
Because you want to penalize the behavior or exploit it.
Well, I can agree that perhaps the behavior wants to be penalized. That there's some sort of broader social penalization. I can agree with that. But the point that was being missed is this idea that taxing cigarettes, tobacco products, alcohol products at a higher rate is somehow limiting somebody's freedom or liberty. That it's not. Your ability to go and purchase cigarettes has not been affected. You have the exact same level of freedom to go and buy cigarettes as you did when those taxes did not exist.
Wealthier people, only the people who can afford it can now do it. They can, partake and harm themselves, but poorer people can't.
Same with drugs.
Okay, and
I'm being ignored.
There was also another point I wanted to make about some things that were said.
What I want to happen is Leo to finish his statement. I would like very quickly for 420 to respond to it, and then I'd like to say thank you to Yogi Bear for joining and ask them to give their input, because I feel that this is very personal and there is something I know that they can give. They have opinions on this that I know can be good. So Leo, finish your point. 420 afterwards, and then Yogi Bear.
Okay, so the fundamental point that I'm trying to make here is that I don't think it's wrong to broadly socially disincentivize what is obviously empirically detrimental behavior, not just to oneself, but to other people who may be around. None of that can be denied about smoking. You just can't, unless you just don't know anything about any of the data over the last 90 years. According to the American Lung Association, for every 10% increase in the price of cigarettes, there is a reduction in consumption by about 4% among adults and about 7% among youth. I think that's a pretty good thing. And According to the World Health Organization, the single most effective and cost-effective measure for reducing tobacco use is excise taxes on tobacco. So if it is an empirical fact that smoking is a major detriment to not just one's health, but the people around them, and this is behavior that we ought to broadly, not want people to do, we have some sort of desire to not do that, then it seems obvious that the actions that best disincentivize that behavior, we should meaningfully enact. And it seems that this is one way to do that.
Thank you.
And
420?
To respond, I think you'll find that me and Flow State fundamentally agree with everything you just said. And we have agreed the entire time. You have missed our point, which is, why would you defend them enacting this on one product, but not across the board? Where is the line drawn on where you get to enforce my health choices?
Well, so to respond to that quickly.
Very quickly. Everybody can unmute. I'd hit the mute button. Everyone needs to unmute. But yes, very quickly. Not forced.
But so, oh, Jesus, fuck, that just threw my entire train of thought. Jesus, fuck. So, can you say what you just said again, please? I'm sorry. Oh, yeah, that's right. So, yeah, I can agree that, that there might be other things that we should do this with, but the fact that we don't doesn't somehow defeat the argument that I'm making. It's just sort of a subtle subtle whataboutism. Yeah, but what about this other stuff that's also dangerous? That's fine, sure, maybe we can tax that as well, but that doesn't defeat the argument that taxing cigarettes is demonstrably and empirically positive way to reduce their consumption amongst adults and even more amongst youth. And therefore, it should be a broadly socially promoted disincentive that we meaningfully institute in our societies. We should disincentivize this behavior.
Yogi Bear, thank you very much for coming in, and I hope that your input is not about picnic baskets. But thank you very much for coming.
No, of course not. Hello, thank you for letting me in. No, I mean, on that logic, just make it illegal. Fuck it.
Yeah,
no,
exactly.
No,
but you argued something that wasn't our point, Leo. That's my point. You completely did miss mine and Flow State's point. It's not that it's incentivizing a bad thing. Of course it is. We're saying they've focused in on the one, and so to try and say that this is what they're actually doing, we're arguing that's not what they're doing. MathPig made the point, the means justifies the end. We're arguing that. That's the point you're missing.
Well, the thing is, again, according to the American Lung Association, I'll just read here. On the federal level, revenue from cigarette and tobacco taxes helps fund programs to support children and adults across the country, including the Children's Health Insurance Program, CHIP. CHIP provides health insurance to many children in the U.S. who would otherwise be uninsured. So actually, the funding from this is designed to go directly to certain programs. But
okay, that's
again,
fair.
The fact that other things that should also be taxed alongside cigarettes because they are also unhealthy, but they're not taxed, is not in and of itself anything against it. It doesn't defeat
and I'm
anything
not
that I'm
saying
saying.
that. I'm saying don't do it to tobacco.
Why not? Why would we not want to disincentivize the
Because
usage
we're
of tobacco?
very bad at deciding what's good for people and what's bad for people.
You're penalizing
but it's-
tobacco
wait.
users, but you're not penalizing sugar users. You're not like.
Do
Why?
you think
I mean,
sugar
we're-
and tobacco
well,
are
I mean, we
equivalent?
certainly-
You've not given me a
We
reason why it's
Are sugar and
arbitrarily
tobacco equivalent?
We certainly.
Yes.
Well,
there
they're
are
not.
plenty of people who do want to do this to sugar users.
We certainly
Exactly, and that's
tax.
my point. Where do we stop? Next it's sugar. Then one day we've got people knocking on the door making sure that you're working out and keeping fit.
There's kind of a difference though between things that are like you're talking about sugar. You know, sugar is necessary in so many recipes, for instance, but
And
tobacco,
bodily
but tobacco is not. Alcohol is not. They're not things that we need on a regular basis. So if you start, so there's a difference between taxing something that is a what do you call it? It's just something that we don't need anyway, versus something that's generally necessary in society. I mean, nobody's gonna try to claim that, and they're not gonna make any. I mean, they could try to make the claim, but it's not gonna. It's gonna fall on. Nobody's gonna care about it if they try to say that alcohol and tobacco are necessary. But so I don't know. I mean, I understand taxing them more than others. I mean, yeah, sugar can be abused for sure. You're right. Same with corn syrup.
Oh, right, opportunity, right. If I can, right, and then flow state really quickly, and I want to give it back to Yogi Bear because I give the floor to Yogi Bear, and Yogi Bear got like fucking 4 seconds, right? Kazoom, again, this goes back to education. I feel, which is the main point.
Someone out the back.
I've 9 people on screen. They're gonna have to wait. I do apologize. It goes down to the point of education that I made with flow state, giving people freedom and to make that choice for themselves. A particular thing that I do with my daughter, if she gets a chocolate bar or anything like that. What is going on with this script? If she gets a chocolate bar or anything like that, I specifically ask her to split it, knowing that the other person can pick, the size that they want. She knows the sugar isn't great, and it goes to the point of you get a limited amount. It's here for a certain necessity, and give them the freedom to do that. But it's education, and my point doesn't matter. Yogi Bear, floor is yours.
Holy shit. Yeah. Okay. Well, I mean, again, I find it, I appreciate that this has a detriment on society, but so does drug taking in general. So does alcohol, obviously being a drug. So I'm stopping. I can't see why you're saying that one thing should be made de-incentivized, and the other thing should have the freedom of being publicly available to consenting adults. Why not just say it's a consenting adult issue, and those adults should bear the consequences?
Consenting adults can purchase cigarettes, though.
Right. Okay.
Consenting adults can purchase heroin.
You're right.
It's just expensive if you get caught.
Yeah, it's illegal, as it should be.
Ultimately, what you're saying is there's nothing that penalizes any sort of behavior. You're still free to do it.
Leo, do you think that
Is that
cigarettes
what I'm
should
saying?
be made illegal?
Is it?
No, I do not think that cigarettes should be made illegal.
Why?
Because I think that that's an overreach of the authority that people have delegated to the centralized institutions that oversee them.
So how disincentivized do you think it should be to smoke cigarettes?
Taxes.
Yeah.
Slightly higher taxes on the product. Like what we have right now. I think
So
what
you
we're
think
doing now is
400% is too much?
Is good.
Yes.
How do you feel about alcohol?
Too
But I
much.
thought you wanted to say
Well,
more.
I'm not going to be able to just like simplic it or tell you what's too much or too little.
I
I'm
haven't
gonna
heard
need to know
Weasel in a
variety
while, so
of
Weasel
background
after Leo.
information. I'm going to need to know a variety of background information with respect to the populations to smoke, and a variety of other economic. I mean, I there's just no way to just determine that right now for any given society.
How about alcohol?
Alcohol? Yeah, I think it's meaningful to tax that at higher rates. Yeah.
If I could, right?
But I mean, as compared to something like heroin, that you said that should be illegal.
Mm-hmm. Well, should heroin be illegal? I mean, I would say it should be decriminalized, but I don't think that the black market sale and distribution of it should be something that's legal.
Well, black market, to some extent, denotes that it's illegal, I think.
Your cigarette tax creates black markets.
I don't really think it does. Not in any meaningful
absolutely
capacity.
The taxes would have to be a bit higher than they are now in order for there to be a significant black market for cigarettes.
But all of these
Just
like
Robbie buys his under the counter.
If I can.
Let me
I
hit it.
buy
Let me hit it.
mine under the counter.
All
So
these
two,
things come.
two of the smokers on this panel buy black market cigarettes. You're going to tell me there hasn't been a
Yeah.
marked difference
Yeah, you know that
No,
if that's really
size
if that's really happening on a wide scale level, then maybe you have a point.
To the point
Yeah,
that the
but
local
two-
shop has
Jesus
actually got a
fucking
different
Christ.
selection. They have cheap cigarettes at £5 a pack. They have cheap cigarettes in certain shops which you do not buy at £4 a pack. They're what's known as white brand ones, and they are really bad fake cigarettes. So you spend a fiver if you want nice cigarettes that have been brought and imported in from another country duty free. You pay £8 a cigarette, but if you buy them over the counter, they're $11.24. It's got, as I say, the local shop has a selection now of multiple prices, and they make the effort to pay people to go to other countries to bring these in rather than quit.
Well, the experience in Europe is that what happens is, in order to keep the disincentivizing flavor of the cigarettes going, so to speak, they need to keep increasing the taxes. It's not something which you can just say at this tax you'll get such and such a response, right? Because then you've got to keep up with inflation plus a little bit to keep the thing going. So the price is always going to keep going up, and not that just that. The level of taxation always has to be increased if you want to keep disincentivizing your population at the same level.
Well, that's not a necessary feature of an economy.
I think it is, yeah. By
I don't
demonstration,
think that it is.
by demonstration,
They
it is in
don't.
Europe, yeah.
They don't want
Well, I mean, if you're continually increasing it, then eventually it's. I don't know. I mean, I think there's a certain point where you can say, okay, if we tax it much further, it's going to be a little bit unreasonable. There's some point. It just seems like there should be some point where you say, okay, this is the line we should draw, because going further, and I don't know.
Hasn't been found in
Me.
Europe. You say
But
you
there
can
are
pay
two
£20.
parties
You
being
can pay £20.
incentivized
That's
here.
£1 a cigarette. When I was a kid, it was
There-
50p a packet.
There are two parties being incentivized. It's not just the smoker being disincentivized, it's the government being incentivized to keep people smoking. So now you've got government addicted to revenue because they've artificially inflated the price of cigarettes. They're not going to want to lose that.
We got
just like the
do we
American
have any
Cancer
evidence for
Society
this?
doesn't- Oh my God. How do you not understand what I'm saying? It's
I didn't say I didn't
true.
understand it. I just asked if there's like anything that shows that this is happening. That the
I
government
mean,
is taxing it to inflate the price for the sake of profit, when the
So
taxes
you're
don't go
asking,
to
do we have
corporations.
evidence
Basic
of,
economics.
of their intentions? Something
Have they
that,
included me in a meeting where we schemed? No, they haven't. But do I understand basic economics? Yeah, that's what I went to school for. And what your job is, what you're incentivized to do is what you're paid for. If you're paid for having smokers as a local government, you don't want to lose the smokers, or else you lose the revenue. Then you've got a whole other
paid to have smokers.
and to respond to Kazoon, you say that about the cutoff point. Where's the cutoff point? Where Australia's past 400%. I would have thought at 300% we would have went, okay, that's enough.
sounds like enough.
And they've still got plans to go for years more. So, like, is 1,000%? There's not going to be
No,
a cutoff.
it's a good question. Maybe it's just an issue of at what point does it start becoming truly unreasonable? You know, I mean,
I could tell you that point, Kazim. Actually, that point is when the public start fighting back and saying we don't want smoking, right? So there's a kind of a fitness regime that starts happening, and people start going, we don't want smoking in pubs, we don't want smoking on the street, we don't want smoking, and that's when it starts getting like, well, we can't keep, we're already restricting the base now. We're not going to get more money from taxing cigarettes, therefore there's no point in taxing cigarettes now. Plus, we lose votes by doing it, right? Because people don't want smokers. We're going to have to go down the illegality route, which is exactly what happened in the UK. They started banning it from all public places, which is fair enough, right? Don't get me wrong. I agree that it should be banned in public places because clearly the secondary smoke issue is a real smoke issue, all right? And you can't consent to that. I'm afraid that is also a fact as well, as demonstrated, right?
No, I'm with you. I'm with you there. I'm totally with you there. I was I was happy when they here in this state when they finally made it so that you can't smoke in bars. I was happy. I actually started going to bars at that point. But at the same time, I do understand the other. I do understand the smoker side of it. It sucks for their side, but
it's a freedom of choice issue, right?
I still wish there would have been a ventilation system standard for bars. So if you can come to a certain ventilation standard where, I mean, I've been to places where if someone has long hair, you watch it going like this towards the ceiling because they have so much ventilation that people could smoke and you don't stink like cigarettes, right? So I think that if they set a ventilation standard, you know, yeah, you can have smoking if you come to these standards, and you have to have someone come and check it every year or every so many years or something like that.
How much would that cost?
That would have cost a lot. And most places
we could just ban smoking in public places.
Well,
what about having a notice on the door saying this is a smoker's bar?
I was just saying if they did something like that, probably most places would just opt out of. They'd probably say, let's just not have smoking because it's not worth it. But there would be some that do, you know, that would have that. But it would still have given people a choice versus what they've done.
No, if I can,
people would vote
similar
with their
like that
dollar.
has been put in place over here in the UK when smoking was made legal. A lot of people, especially bars, made designated dry areas outside which matched the standards that people could. So if you wanted to, you could go outside and you can sit in the smoking area. They have provided all of that, a bar or whatever and all the rest of it. It's a little colder because you must be outside. The problem with that is we're still at the point socially, and you know, being in the UK, I think the only other person here is Yogi Bear, but we have a phrase that the cracks in the smoking area because everybody still goes to the smoking area. Even people who don't smoke are still being affected by this.
They're choosing to.
And also,
because that's where the banter is. Because most
just
people.
To point out that when this ban first went in, it decimated the pub industry. Absolutely decimated it. To the point now where you have generic pubs or you don't have any pubs. All of the way the system used to work, right? And of course, another thing they had to do was bring in the 24-hour drinking as well. Right? We never had that before, right? So there were other knock-on consequences, right, that had to happen as a result of this. You know,
people were already voting on this every time they spent $1 at an establishment.
What the fuck does that mean?
That means
if you didn't like smoking, you didn't go to the bar. Yeah.
Right. If people did not want to be in smoking bars, then those businesses would cater to the majority of the population that wants to be in a smoke-free environment.
I like I was saying earlier, though. I mean, I just before they had these indoor public smoking bans, I didn't go to bars. I just didn't go to any of it. I didn't enjoy any nightlife. I didn't enjoy any of that stuff. And I know I'm not the only one who felt that way. So I mean, you can say, well, if a bar really, you know, was paying attention to that stuff, that then there'd be more places that went non-smoking. But it was so rare to find a non-smoking bar. I mean, you might find one out of every major city, you know, at the time anyway.
If I can say, Kazoom, the straight up honest truth of that is, referencing my country over here, nobody gave a shit about you because you were such a minority, it didn't matter. You know, you either put up with it or stay at home. They didn't care. You know, the loss that they would take from you not coming would be, you know, and that's just, I'm not saying that personally. I'm just saying.
No, that's just how the system. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Damn, I killed the crack there. Well,
no, I mean, it comes down to secondary smoke there. It really does. And I've got to agree with the non-smokers because, I mean, I'm a non-smoker now, so I fucking hate the smell of cigarettes. But that's besides the point. You know,
from a financial point of view, are you better off now?
Oh, much better off. Yeah.
Are you fatter now?
I'm.
No.
Yeah, not for
Yo-
that
Yogi,
reason though.
Yogi,
I'm
stop,
fatter
Ron.
because
You're not-
my doctor said you need to put some weight on.
You're not financially better off. You're a musician.
I am financially better off. I
And
have money.
he's
There
put
you
the
go.
weight on because he keeps eating them fucking picnic baskets.
No, it's not that. No, I didn't put weight on when I first stopped smoking. No, because I've religiously worked out in my life. So
I would
it's
throw
important.
out there that sugar was mentioned earlier, and it's getting seriously undersold as far as what an addictive substance it is, and how over-sugared all of our diets are.
Yeah.
Well, there's too much sugar in our diet, but it's not like, I don't know, like you have to consume quite a bit of sugar to reach like addictive levels.
No, you don't. You'd be.
Well, I mean, yeah, and you look
Yeah,
at the
but you
way that
probably do.
Look,
you look at the way that there was a shift in dietary recommendations in the what was it, the 50s or the 60s, where people started shoving forth the notion that fats are bad, but then they replaced it with sugars and corn syrups and carbs and all of that, and it's just like that's what messed us up.
I went to the
guarantee
doctor.
we're all addicted to sugar and just.
I'm not.
Know. Yes, you
I'm not.
are.
I don't. No, I'm not. I don't like eating sweet stuff. I would prefer to eat
didn't
meat
either.
or vegetables or anything like that.
Yeah,
I didn't
Eat
either.
carrots?
But when I went to jail, it was not a cigarette I wanted. It was sugar. It blew my mind.
Well, that's because your body,
Yeah,
needs sugar.
is in things that you don't know it's in. It's weird.
Yeah, it's in everything. It's in bread. It's in sauce.
I was.
It's-
I could have shaved in the fucking Wonder Bread. I walked in -7 for a fucking half an hour when Red was in bed to go and get bread to come back and make her breakfast in bed and all and wake her up and everything. No fucking pavements for a start in America. Nearly got wiped out about 1,000,000 times. People do it in the horn. But I come back, opened up Wonder Bread because it was the only fucking bread there, and I could have shaved in it. It was that shiny and glazed from the amount of sugar in it. Everything had fucking sugar in it.
Why it's shiny.
Like, it's insane. It was fucking insane. From a person over here who, like Leo, would eat an awful lot of meat. I thought the meat was very processed. The bacon wasn't good. I couldn't find good sausages or, I like vegetables. Most of the vegetables was frozen. It was very hard for me to find fresh vegetables.
Okay.
Even the way Red, I don't know if this is
eating any sort of deli meat or hot dog. That's all been injected with sugar water too.
Yeah.
It was
Inject- what
very
do you
high and all that sort of
Love
stuff.
you.
It's how they
like-
keep the color.
What is it?
Like,
Like
look at
actually?
a package of ham sometime. It's got a lot
Oh,
of sugar.
fair and dark.
Actual ham that I found in America was like $1 a slice. It was exceedingly
What?
in this wee shop. It was like $4.74 for like 5 slices of deli slice proper. What I would consider real
Jeez.
ham.
I don't think I've run across any that's that expensive. Wow.
Oh
It was
yeah.
very
It's-
expensive.
UK.
2
is
pizzas with delivery of 49 cents cost us
St. Louis?
£52. Sorry, $52. 2 pizzas.
Oh right, you're talking about when you were there. Okay.
Yeah,
Richard's out the
$52.
back, Robbie.
Pardon?
Richard's out the back.
The pigs come from like 2 miles away. How is it that expensive?
That's what I'm trying to.
I mean,
figure out.
I
Not
think
in
about.
Iowa,
I mean,
it's not very
there's a
expensive.
grocery store around here where I can get ham for about $4.50 a pound, and it's good ham too.
Is it processed?
What I
Oh,
consider to be
it's all processed. I mean, what ham isn't processed?
I don't know.
I'm
I
not
guess it's
disagreeing
probably
that
what
anything's
MathPig is talking
processed.
about.
It was just
Mhm.
it was a very
Bob
different
joke somewhere.
experience.
Nah,
You
it's-
know,
I think it
to be
depends on
honest,
what we mean by processed, because there's processed as in like,
If I have to look for
like-
fucking cheese that has a sticker on it that says "come from a cow," and that takes me effort to find cheese that comes from a fucking cow.
Well, it takes effort to
Okay.
find cheese that has a little sticker on it.
Fuck off. It was
There's a difference.
Our
Getting
cheese
certified to
didn't-
do some of
it
those
didn't
things
even
takes a long
melt.
time. It's a pain
It-
in the ass.
Our
And you
cheese
can-
melts
you can
and
do
becomes
things
good.
That don't like meet the level of certification or whatever.
When I melt
because-
cheese and I make cheese on toast, I don't need to spread the like when I put chunks of cheese, American cheese,
You don't
whatever that
spray it out
cheese
of
was,
the can?
under the grill, which you don't even call it grill, you just call it broil, right? It just became fucking soft. It didn't melt into a goo. It didn't.
It's because it's not cheese, American cheese.
You were
It's like
spraying it wrong.
51% whey
American
isolate
cheese
or
is
something like
plastic.
that.
Oh, Leo, right? You would be similar to me in this, right? Because you just described your dietary requirements, or your diet, meat and vegetables and stuff, right? I fly into Philadelphia. I'm in Philadelphia for about 3 hours, right? 4 hours. I've got some time to kill. I'm hungry. What do you do when you're in Philadelphia? I want to get myself a proper Philly steak sub with cheese and peppers and onions on good bread. That's what I see in my head.
Found out that you
On a
use
nice
cheese
old big fat
Right.
thick.
So I go to
roasted
the what looks like a quite good, it's a pub place, but they have a big thing and all, and I was like, right, I'm gonna get myself a pint of cider, see what American cider's like, and I get myself a Philly steak sub. And I ordered the Philly steak sub, and it said in the first ingredient of cheese was cheese whiz, then American cheese. Right? So it's cheese whiz.
That's what you do.
Talk to
That's
Mouty.
part of a
That's
Philly.
a
That's
Philly
part of a
cheesesteak.
Yeah, that's part of a Philly cheesesteak.
It's a
If it ain't cheese whiz or something similar, it
right?
ain't a Philly
So
cheesesteak.
cheese steak, which in my head,
The point is to use a cheese sauce rather than actual cheese. That's
right?
the point.
Cheese whiz, then American cheese, and then mozzarella.
Not ideal, Philly.
And the woman came over, and I went, "Can I get a Philly cheesesteak with peppers and onions? I don't want cheese whiz on it." And her jaw dropped. It was like,
Yeah,
you
I
just
don't
killed
understand.
Jesus? It was like,
Yeah.
no, I don't want cheese from a fucking can. Can I get it with just mozzarella and like a wee bit of American cheese? Like, I like cheese, not shit from a can. And even the person beside me turned and looked at me and went, "It's not a Philly cheesesteak if you don't put cheese whiz in it."
Yeah.
And the
it's
bartender
whole point
agreed
of
with
a
it. I was
Philly
like,
cheesesteak.
I don't give a shit. I don't fucking want. And nope.
Is
Don't want-
raw dairy legal over there?
Pardon?
Is raw dairy legal over there?
And you can get it from a farmer, but you can't buy it in a shop.
That's so.
That's a bad
absurd.
idea. Raw dairy kills people.
Very few people.
There's a chain that's around here though. Just when you think of Philly cheesesteaks and stuff, there's a chain. I don't know how national it is, but it's Charlie's grilled subs, and you have real cheese on that, and that's damn good. Though you can get they do have the option of the cheese sauce, and I've never taken it, but yeah, you can get the real cheese there. It's good stuff. I get their chicken version though, so.
The whole answer, Robbie, is you have to get further than that from the airport.
Yeah. There you go.
I did do a tour. Marty did give me the tour. I spent most of the time actually talking to the Oracle. We had an hour and a half to kill before we got back. We did the whole tour. He took us around his lab. We got to smell some things and stuff, which was very cool. And then we went. No, he spent. That's what their research was. They have like whole things that go in your face now, that make you smell things. And yeah, we did that. And then we
I
had
don't
an
know
hour
what
to
you're talking
kill.
about. I'm just immature.
Another
And,
good
we
thing about
went-
giving up smoking.
The Oracle is
You can sense the
fantastic.
smell
you know.
back.
The Oracle is more interesting than Marty. She should be on stream more often.
Smoking is the bad habit I still have left, and I'm keeping it.
Hey,
I
if
don't
you want
want
to,
people to
that's
smell
fine.
worse, Simos. Sorry, Simos.
Yeah,
I don't
there
want
is
people
that.
to smell worse.
There is that, yeah.
No, I'm
I
gonna
mean,
keep smoking.
the taste of food is another thing I really noticed when I gave up smoking. Like, I suddenly started going, oh yeah, I do like food. I know why I like food. Because
Well, I
it
can
tastes
put more
so fucking
spices
good.
on my food, but I can't get that woman to cut down on that damn perfume.
Spices aren't all the flavors, man.
You
There's
can
a lot
hose
of
her
flavors
off.
that aren't spices.
No, just
Well, I
just
mean,
English
80% of
food is not famous for its spices. Let me just tell you this, apart from the curry, of course. But no, we like plain cooked food, and it takes.
Yeah,
so
British people don't know what
good when you
spices
can
are.
taste
Oh,
it.
excuse me. No, I make good food, and everything I cook has spices in it.
Bangers and mash probably boiled
agree.
to oblivion.
and 80% of what you smell is actually what you taste. So I mean,
Yeah,
yeah.
they're very linked.
There you go. That's
I didn't word that right, but you knew what I meant.
They're overlapping senses in that.
Well, I should say 80% of what you taste is actually what you smell. That's a better way of wording it. Okay.
This is one of the myths. I think it's a bit of a myth in some sense. It's true, definitely, that they are overlapping senses, as you say. However, there is a little bit of a myth going on because when I have a friend that grows her own like veggies and tomatoes, all that kind of stuff, down what we call an allotment, right, which is a city kind of little farm, and she grows all her own stuff, and the food she grows herself tastes that much better than in the supermarkets. Smells exactly the same to me, exactly the same, but it tastes so much better. So just to say, your own, if you can grow your own food, wow, you know the difference.
Yeah. You sure you don't just have a crush on
food
her?
Over processed food.
Yeah, is she hot though?
Are you sure?
Hot enough, yeah.
All right.
Hot enough to make the
I
food
thought
work.
so.
Does she have
I
Facebook?
mean,
What's her name?
like for instance, if you don't have a sense of smell, you can't tell the difference between the taste of a pear and an apple. You can tell the difference in the texture, obviously, but when it comes to the actual taste, there's no difference between a pear and an apple that you can't smell.
Yes, this is why people tell you if you're eating something gross, plug your nose.
Or stop eating.
How often do people tell you to eat something gross, Leo?
And who is she?
People don't tell me that.
Mom's not such a good cook, actually.
Kimchi.
I like kimchi. That's the spicy ramen.
Never
Richard.
Yeah, it's kind of the fermented vegetables sort of thing. It's like
Oh, you don't like sauerkraut either, do you?
No, I don't.
I'm not a huge fan of
sauerkraut. Is good.
That's fair. That is fair.
Sauerkraut is good. At least the Germans know how to cook. The British just like cut shit off the animal and put it on the plate.
Leo.
No.
I'm with you. I can do Leo. I can do some sauerkraut. Not too much. Too much cilantro is gonna fuck up anything, but.
Oh yeah, but cilantro's good.
In very sparing amounts.
Yeah. The thing about the British though is I feel like the British are the kind of people that would have a barbecue. They would barbecue ribs, but would cook them in water instead of doing them on the smoker. That is like the thing that like a British guy would do. It's fucking cook.
Boiled ribs.
It's tough, bland.
Yeah, not really boiling, but you're right. We don't like to flavor our food very much because like we flavor it when it's growing. That's what we do.
I don't even know what that means.
I know,
Vegetables.
What does that mean?
It's really simple.
That's because you don't know about animal husbandry.
It's really simple. If you want a good ham,
A guy that grew up in Iowa working on farms with cattle and pigs doesn't know about animal husbandry.
If Leo can, for 1 second. Richard, you've got 15 minutes to set up an after party because I'm getting bored being the host, and I'm gonna.
Dad's getting crabby.
Sammy, don't look so serious.
I'll do that.
There you go.
What were you
Richard,
gonna say, Richard?
if anyone doesn't know, I think you have met Kasum before, probably through here. No?
Myself? Yes, absolutely.
Yeah,
Charming
Richard.
gentleman, great singer, really odd, love his brain.
There you go.
Oh, right on,
Where
man.
did the name come from?
Thanks, man.
Yeah, could be a good conversation. You know, you may have to kick Leo 3 or 4 times before shit sinks in, but that, you know, some of us are.
Can I do it?
But I want to be rounding up. It's getting a wee bit late over here, and my partner is way prettier than all you motherfuckers. Plus, she got boobs. You know. I was gonna say Samos knows how cool she is, but then following it up with boobs, I don't know. Samos, you know how cool she is.
I do.
Leo, show me your boobs. Not Richard, Leo.
Well, he was already standing up, okay? He was, you know.
He was already standing up.
Yeah, thank fuck the camera's not lower.
You know, I would have asked
Thank you for your contribution, Richard.
For everyone who didn't see, everyone who came in while this was live, at the very start tonight, I usually have a trailer and stuff and all. It's the whole just bollocks trailer that I repeat as an intro. but I found some old footage earlier of people saying you're watching MathPig that I used to get people to do after a show, which I think I'm going to do an updated one. You know, everyone who comes on do a wee silly thing, and it ends with Richard being deadly serious like a news presenter, and then he does the whole pop goes the weasel thing. It's very funny. It's yeah, so go back and watch the start of that. But Richard, have you had enough time yet?
Probably would have been funny if you hadn't ruined it.
It is quite funny, you know, and there's a few others who will be swapping that around and using some old footage and stuff. But yeah, Kazoom, for the people who don't know, because you don't be here that often, you know, thank you again for coming on. I have a lot of respect for
Oh, I'm glad I was able to. It's been cool.
Yeah. Go over to Richard's. Do give him at least half an hour of your time.
Is there just in case? Is there? I mean, I'm trying to remember. What's the link? Do you have a link?
If you watch your Twitter and don't find it,
yeah,
I'm
linking his channel in the
probably
chat.
put it in the private chat.
Okay, great.
But yeah, Richard's a very good, interesting conversationalist, and you know, I think Richard. I don't want to say the motherfuckers get traction, but I told you, Richard, if you were honest and told people that the alien overlords that are going to come and get us were more of a motherfucker, people would see your honest nature, and yeah, tell the truth. The ends justify the means sometimes. I can't drag this out for any longer. There you go. Somebody talked. Who was that? Flow State. Go Flow State.
What am I doing?
Talking.
Dude, I love your icon. I just gotta. Sorry, I don't know what was happening, but your icon is fantastic.
The fingers in the mist.
Yes, just like it's. I like it.
Does it make you think of two things?
Taylor, my channel is Flow State. Go check it out. That's all I got to chill right now. Don't support tyrannical laws.
It makes me think of a twisted version of the movie Arrival crossed with Independence Day. You know,
it's like
the
Dawn
alien...
of the Dead, but
Pardon?
It's got kind of a zombie-esque, you know.
Yes, but I don't know if you've seen Arrival or that scene in Independence Day with the aliens.
It does look like Arrival.
Yeah.
Arrival's a really good movie, though, actually.
It is. I like the idea of the time.
You can steal it. I won't mind. I didn't make it.
Hey, when you said Flow State, is it? Do you have 1.41k subscribers?
That is me.
Okay.
He only has 1.41 subscribers. That's
Flo,
really...
was it you?
Not even a whole two people. What is going on with the script that is doing things by itself?
Kermit just got all up in my business, and I'm not sure how I feel about it, but it's mixed.
That was weird.
Right, I feel that what's happened is that StreamYard has updated, and the script has not updated to match it. So every time somebody does something, it's giving an input into the script, which is going blah because they don't know what to do. So it'll be fine next week. The script will update itself, and I can get back to my wonderful producing.
Was there a question for me?
Everybody just needs to chill. Whose turn is it? Go, Leo.
Yes, I was asking, were you the person I was having the discussion with on whether or not information can travel faster than light, or
No.
is that somebody else?
I think that was somebody else.
Okay, sorry.
Next up, Leo, give us a chill. Tell everybody about your math brain.
Huh?
Are you actually a Leo?
Shill your channel, Leo. Let everybody
Yes.
know where to find you. If you feel the need to, please put it in the chat. If you're not a mod, I'll at least let
I'm
you say it.
Sagittarius. Nice to meet you.
Well, people can find me at my channel that is here on YouTube.
And if you don't tell people the name, they will not know.
Why is my name not displayed? I thought you would. Come on, Mr. Host.
Yeah, I
Why aren't there any
deliberately do
display
this.
names, huh?
I feed
Guy?
off the triggering. I feed off the triggering that people get when they don't see the names. Because I want to force people to introduce themselves.
The first time I was on the stream, I wore a piece of paper taped to my neck that said, "I'm Tapioca Weasel."
He fucking did. He actually fucking did. Yep.
You have dry skin.
I don't. I
My
just put
skin's
lotion on
fantastic.
like 5 hours ago.
I'm just thinking about like a piece of Scotch tape hanging.
Okay, Simos, would you like to share
Maybe
your
I have
channel?
greasy skin.
Yeah, I suppose.
Damn, you got a ponytail back there too.
Timeless Funk YouTube channel. That's it.
Very nice.
I do gaming content and music content and debate content and Mounty content and
Dizzy?
Fabio and Funk Formula One content, of course.
What's
Dizzy
Mounty
and Fabio.
content?
Christopher Mounty, the leader. That's it. You will find some of it on my channel as well. So there you go.
Perfect. Thank you. Oh my god, the script freaked out again, and now Richard's actually behind Simos and Leo.
Oh my god! I mean, it's just. This is
Look
why I
at
don't use
God
OBS.
give you.
This is why
This
I
isn't
do not
OBS
use it.
doing this, man. This is OBS is running 100% perfect. This is StreamYards that's freaking out.
Every OBS user I go with says the same thing. It's not OBS.
That's because it's
no.
true.
It's not
Oh, it isn't
fucking
actually.
OBS.
OBS is here. Never moved,
Yeah,
never changed.
But yeah, every OBS stream I go on gets this same problem. It's fucking amazing.
I'm hacking
They're all
StreamYards at
using
the
the
minute, man.
same
I
StreamYard.
thought I explained that I was hacking StreamYards and the hack hasn't caught up with the update yet.
Okay.
Sorry, that was me being Leo. I apologize. 420, would you like to shill your channel and shout about? And by the way, fucking love you, man. Huge hugs, all in real life, and you know.
Thanks, bro. Love you too. Yeah, my channel 420 Anti-Theist. I upload very sporadically, and have a chat show some mornings. I try and do it as much as possible, but unfortunately, real life's getting in the way at the moment. So,
Are you comfortable sharing that? Not the story or any of the bollocks, but the GMF or whatever. If you want, you can share that. Like,
oh, the GoFundMe. Yeah, I might do that actually. Yeah, which will explain everything anyway, I guess. So yeah.
Yeah, rather than you know.
Yeah, go check me out.
Check him out. He you know, he's a
I
nice ass. It's not quite a MathPig ass, but check him out. You know, he's not bad. He's Australian. He understands that cunt means we love you. And yeah, I want to thank everybody who's come in tonight.
There's something I forgot actually, which is you can donate to. I have something slightly similar. It's called a GFY instead. So yeah.
Please explain your GFY. Come on,
You can
go fuck yourself.
Correct. Yeah. Okay, and you can donate as much as you want to that anytime you like. So there you go.
Richard, did you share the link to your stream that's happening that you've set up in the actual live chat so people can go there? Yes?
I did it.
Yep.
Okay, well, I think everybody's covered their bits. It's not only fans, so you have to cover your bits.
I didn't know we had to cover our bits.
My bits are well covered.
Cover your bits and pieces, everyone.
I wanted to say a thing, actually.
Real quick.
I want to thank everybody for coming by. I want to thank everybody for joining the panel. Okay, Richard.
I want to show something. Please go check out Sammy Jenkins GoFundMe, please.
Definitely.
Thank you.
Really.
Fine.
You did put it in there, Sammy,
Just
yes?
for you.
I'm getting it.
Okay. Right. Definitely go over to Richard's and stuff. All going well. You'll get at least a couple of us there. I'll pop over for a wee while and stuff. And give him a chance, Wes. Give him a chance. Thanks everybody for supporting the channel. Thanks everybody for their input. The conversation tonight has covered at least, I think, 7. Being genuine, at least 7 different topics. We'd have people in from all over the place.
And both Leo and I were here, and physics didn't come up.
I also
Thank
feel
God.
that you didn't do your fangirl thing, which I'm very proud of you.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
Oh, you mean where Leo and I just sit there and get each other off?
No,
Where
where
you
Leo
talk bullshit.
talks and you take your top off and do a whole fangirl thing and throw it at the camera.
Sounds like something I would do, yeah.
It does. Yeah. So on that note, call back on Tuesday. Me and Richard will be debating, not debating, discussing Revelations and how it's definitely a bad thing that aliens come and wipe out our planet and take us away to another place, and that they're all cunts. He says it's good, and Richard's technically Jesus.
The demolish doctrine religion is heretical. I just want you to know.
Okay, the demolish doctrine religion also has you as their Jesus. And like, I have 2 followers confirmed.
That's one of the reasons.
Me and Sammy. Alright? These are confirmed. And I think if I had a chat with Derek, I would get 3. If I stole one of your followers, got them over to my following, you know?
And whilst it is the demolish doctrine religion, the followers call themselves Madsonites.
Yep. Can we hashtag Madsonites?
That's a cult I might be wanting to get in on. Just
what are
okay, I'm up to 4 members. Okay.
There's no perks whatsoever, and you have to do nothing.
It's fantastic.
Exactly.
I can.
It's a win-win.
I do consider myself one of the mads.
Drugs are okay.
Are you? Hold on now.
Yeah,
Simon
sure,
said
drugs
he's one of the
What are they
mads.
provided?
Is
Yep,
he one
I'm
of the
mad.
original
I'm totally
followings,
mad. Yeah.
or are you just shorthanding Madsonites?
No, I'm totally mad.
You're totally mad. So you're with Richard. Okay.
I can only imagine what drugs are going to be on the spaceships, Flow State.
All the best ones.
Plus,
I
there's
don't mean
faster
hot.
than light travel. You know.
Great
Who doesn't wanna fly
Nyborg,
out-
man.
Who doesn't want to fly out there and see Uranus? You know. And on that note, we will say thank you very much for coming. Check out Richard's. We'll see you all over there in about whatever time Richard has it set for. And with that, motherfuckers, don't forget to think for yourselves.